This is some guy that she hasn't even met in person yet, that she's engaged to, and she brings her daughters to the prison to meet him, and he's holding her like that's his own kid. There's a boundary issue here.
I'm telling you, whenever we lived with her dad, I used to pull her by the hair because I was so mad at her.
Why even feel bold enough to admit that?
I love how he loves me, and knowing he has never loved anyone else like this is amazing.
That's probably true because he's in prison, and he's probably so fucking chubbed up that he will date anything.
I was always there for my kids, right?
As far as I knew, yes.
I love the plausible deniability language.
Do you regret it? I don't regret it. Yeah, I don't regret it, but if I...
Do you regret that outfit that you're wearing?
And no, it does not smell well. You can ask Santos.
All right, guys, let's get it going. You guys have been asking me to do Ash Trevino for quite a while now. You recommend like 45,000 videos, but you guys told me Swoop is the best source of information for this kind of stuff. So yeah, man, I'm curious. Let's just let's see. Apparently she's a really good mom on TikTok, so I'm like super duper excited.
So I first started actually my TikTok back in 2019. I was actually a prison wife. That's why they call me the inmate hopper.
She married him.
What?
Married in prison. Why? This is her second marriage in prison.
Oh my God.
I just have this thing to be with somebody.
Why Ash only dates inmates and how her prison life started. I imagine that she only dates inmates because either she's attracted to the bad boys, or you know what else it could be, that it's harder for them to cheat. Well, though I imagine they're probably getting ass blasted, but
Cursory, like, I don't know, I like bad boys, okay?
I just date inmates.
You're my 30th inmate. Did I not tell you that?
why does she just date inmates? Like, does she hate her daughter?
I swear, I've been with 30 inmates.
You don't know me. I'm not like your baby mama.
I'm not like any of these other females who give their kids up and go choose the party life over my kids.
It's always funny when somebody uses the word female in a way that like feels derogatory, you know?
Guys, this is what the life of partying fucking does to you. Like, you wake up at whatever time, you literally don't eat, you drink.
I doubt that, Ashley. I'm looking. I have eyes.
My kids have never been taken away from me.
Whoa.
My kids have always been with me. And a lot of y'all spread rumors and say that CPS.
That's crazy. Could you imagine bragging about how your kids were never taken away from you? That's like bragging about wiping your ass after you take a dump.
Took my kids from me. Baby, CPS has never taken my kids. Yes, I've had like 20 CPS cases.
I heard that she had a dog that had Guardia and it pooped all over the house, and then her kids played around in the poop. You guys hear about that?
Social media stuff has ruined my relationship with my family.
And I know like what ruined it was whenever I flashed my,
I'm not jealous of my daughter. I tell her, get that bag, baby. You are young. Get it right now while you can. And you...
What the fuck is up in her face? Not jealous of her daughters and tells everybody to follow her?
You won't ever have to work.
How old are her kids that her daughters have a TikTok account? I feel like there should be an age limit.
But if y'all are not following my daughter...
Especially to be a creator, just to be a content creator. It's a little stressful. It's the easiest job I've ever done. I've worked a real job before. I'm not saying it's a hard job. It's not. But there's like a different level of stress with everybody looking at you and stuff. And I just feel like it's not necessarily appropriate for a kid to be focusing on. Especially looking at like likes and views and comments. And then as a girl... like it's even worse because you're getting objectified in different ways. There's just so many problems with it. They're 14. That's crazy.
Go ahead and go give her a follow, you guys.
It's not even for that reason, to be honest. I feel like some of their friends are jealous because of the life that they have.
You can't compare my parenting to y'all's parenting.
Do you think that maybe sometimes she can exploit situations to get views? I'm gonna be real, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that. What was that? Her daughters? It looks like she's exploiting her daughters right there for views, and whoever the other person might have been.
I want you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and picture this. You're a younger teenager browsing the internet, and suddenly you come across white teeth, dim.
When I was a young teenager browsing the internet, I was coming across a lot of things. Let me tell you, I was a little gooner. And I remember one time I did it at my mom's work. I was younger than a teenager, but I was a little active. I was a young man, and I had like urges. And unfortunately, my mom got in a little bit of trouble because I was using the work computer, but that's life, man.
Dimples, that smile. He's a big TikToker. He has no idea you exist, but you can't help it. You have a crush. Giddy, excited, knowing nothing will ever happen with him in a million years, but just having fun, daydreaming. You show your mom this cute guy, hoping to have a bonding moment with her. But the next thing you know, your mom has not only DM'd your crush, but started a public relationship with him, constantly live streaming their conversations. That mom is Ash Trevino, and today we're going to attempt to figure out what the actual hell is going on.
I'm sorry to the Mexicans, okay? I will never use that community. Oh, the Hispanic community.
Is she not Hispanic?
I will never use that word again, or any racial slurs towards y'all.
Yeah, I say that publicly too.
Don't use any racial slurs. Okay, I just said what I won't.
And this is what we know. So we have finally arrived at the Ash Trevino corner of the internet. It is very
She's not Hispanic? Serious question.
strange around here. This is by far one of the most highly requested topics that I've had in a long while. So, I mean, thank you for that.
I regret it.
I'm
disgusted in myself.
So I'm going to start this off with a warning, y'all. This woman seems to lie a lot, allegedly.
Same.
This story is going to dive into some of the most chaotic, also
I like that. She seems to lie a lot, allegedly.
sometimes very dark things possible. We're talking about inmate hopping, horrific parenting, the fascination of dating much younger men, and an unhinged night out that led to multiple arrests. And that's just an average Tuesday.
Everything is times three. Everything is times three. Stephanie, let's go, Trisha.
I feel like Ash Trevino would do well back in like the Trisha Paytas days of the internet, back when everything was supposed to be like a reality TV show, because that's kind of what it used to. That was kind of what it used to be, or was supposed to be. Kind of, you went on there and you just did wild, insane shit for social media attention, and it was almost like Jerry Springer every day. But now I think people are kind of desiring something more real and authentic. So when they see that to such a massive degree, they just tune out of it. People like to farm lol cows now, so.
First, oh hi there, hello, hi, it's my face again, Swoop. If you're seeing me for the first time, welcome. My name is Swoop and I'm a documentary filmmaker, commentary creator, and I make what we call Swoop docs on complex stories, true crime, and social media influencers who abuse their power and manipulate audiences because, as I always say, it's not drama, it's dangerous. Here we emphasize critical thinking and also present different perspectives, play devil's advocate, and sometimes, depending on my mood, sometimes we take it to Petty University, and honestly this whole story might already be there, so a class in session. I also have a second channel called Swoop 2 where we take mini dips into basically whatever the hell I want to talk about. Here we deep dive, there we dip. All right, real quick before we dive into this unhinged story, let's get comfy and cozy and talk love and how MeUndies is here to make this Valentine's Day and any day, honestly, the most unbelievably
Another deal, guys. We watched the ads, dude. It's part of the process.
comfy, full of fun and full of love, whether it's just for you, a gift, or dare I say a matching duo. So a huge thank you to MeUndies for sponsoring this video. I absolutely love them. So let's be real, love is anything. Whether you're single, married, focused on friendships, or stuck in a never-ending spiral of situationships, trust me, I've been there. Or you're just like me and have 4 cats who take up the entire bed, leaving you just a sliver on the side to sleep on. Everyone deserves to celebrate love. Now y'all
I have a wife that snores very loudly, and I love her a lot.
heard me gush before about how buttery soft MeUndies underwear is and how obsessed I am with how freaking comfortable their bras are. Seriously, I wear them all the time. Game changer. And this time I got the cutest matching sets ever. How adorable are these little prints? I got the ultramodal lace plunge bralette with the Kiss My Peach print and the matching ultramodal lace bikini. And honey, when I tell you that this fabric is softer than soft and breathable, they have the perfect amount of stretch. They don't dig in from the moment I put them on. I don't even notice they're there. Now the lace plunge bra is perfect for giving you that extra oomph with support underneath and a wire-free design. And the lace, come on, she's giving sultry, she's giving sassy. Love that for us. Now MeUndies has styles for everyone, from all black classics to fun prints. They have some seriously new V-Day prints like electric hearts or lovebirds. Plus they come in sizes extra small to 4XL, guaranteeing a flattering cut for every body. Nothing can stop me from a matching set, okay? I got the most adorable ultra modal lace PJ set in the floating hearts print and just a touch of lace to keep it a little spicy. I'm just saying, you and that special someone in a matching print, okay? Don't play with me, honey. Or, oh my gosh, you're gonna love this. You can match with your pet. Yes, to all of that. Look at these adorable buddy bands that can work for your dog or your cat, and the pet hoodies. I am so in love with these. But listen, MeUndies isn't just about incredibly cozy underwear. MeUndies has the cutest joggers, hoodies, onesies, and so much more. They have pajama sets, cardigans, leggings. I mean, the list goes on, and they use sustainably sourced materials and work with
The longest fucking ad I've ever seen in my life.
partners
Jesus
that
Christ.
actually care for their workers. So we love that too. And did I mention that MeUndies
But listen, if I'm gonna react to somebody's thing, I have to keep the ad going. But it's just long as fuck.
has a problem-free philosophy. If you're not happy with your first pair of MeUndies, they're on MeUndies. But seriously, you're gonna love your items. I'm just saying. So it is time for love this Valentine's Day season, and honestly all year long. Treat yourself or give the gift that'll always have them thinking of you, and get 20% off your first order plus free shipping on orders $75 and over. You tap my link below or go to MeUndies.com/swoop and enter promo code swoop and treat yourself for someone special. You deserve it.
If anybody got me those underwear, I'm gonna shit in them and send them back to you, just so you know. So you might like that. I don't know.
I'm gonna sidebar really quick and then we're diving straight into Ash Trevino. I just want to take a moment to say hi, Happy New Year. It's been over 2 months, I think, since I last uploaded on this channel. So just huge thank you, big thank you for being patient and being here.
They're very comfortable. All right. Well, you would know. I wouldn't.
January was the longest year of my life. There's been a lot going on just with my family the last year, and then the LA fires happened, which evacuated my team, and we had family lose their home.
I think they're called La Fires. Okay, get it right. All right. I used to work with a Hispanic guy, so I can kind of speak some Spanish.
And it just kind of turned everything upside down for me for quite a while. So thank you so much for your kindness and support. Lots more is coming very soon on both channels. So just thank you for your patience and thank you for being here. And I just so appreciate our community. Okay, let's dive in.
right.
So my guess is that most of you know a thing or two about Ash Trevino already, but
really.
What is the truth? So the story that has been put out there is this. Ash Trevino was born Ashley Garcia in Texas.
So she is Hispanic. Her last name is Garcia. Why the fuck does it matter if she uses like a bad word or something?
Did high school in 2007 and shortly after married her high school sweetheart Israel Izzy Gress. Then in 2009, at just 19 years old, Ash gave birth to her first daughter, and then in 2012, at age 22, she gave birth to her second daughter. In 2015, Ash and Izzy separated and then finalized their divorce 2 years later, making Ash a single mother of two at just 27 years old.
I'm single, you guys.
Now, let's be real, it's a whole lot for one person to go through at any point in life, let alone in their teens and like early 20s. And honestly, like we can't truly know.
Live with her mom or something? Like how the fuck do you support yourself? That's crazy.
What went on behind closed doors. But what she has given us is
like my mom was a single mom of one, me. But we had a lot of very strong family, so she had like a lot of help in that capacity. Does this girl have fucking any help with her family?
A pretty extensive digital footprint, like exhaustively extensive.
I've already seen his pee-pee, and he's already seen my nunu.
I know that one.
Drink water. Water's for fishes. Alright guys, I'm about to end that live. She's still one of my biggest gifters, bro, and I don't think that's right.
So while Ash today has gained a level of infamy from her, shall we say, unhinged addiction to social media, it was in 2015 that Ash Trevino started her Instagram account, and it's actually completely vanilla compared to her TikTok persona, but there's a few recurring themes in.
Right, you know, it's funny, I used to have, before I started doing content on like TikTok in 2020, I had my own account on YouTube that I started in 2016. It was called Big American Gut, dude. People don't not even remember that, bro. And I used to do like political stuff, and I still do, obviously, today, but I still have some of the videos too. I wonder if I should release them.
In her post that we still see today. So I'm talking like, tons of photos of her kids, photos of her nails and purses, and like a million versions of like kind of the same selfie. But she also wasn't shy about posting about the hard times in navigating her divorce and co-parenting. Quote, "Can my day get any worse? So mad Israel got daughter from daycare without me knowing. Then he goes and eats
Better keep that kid away from Palestine, if you know what I'm saying.
Lunch with other daughter. I know y'all think it's a good thing, but when he doesn't pay his child support and don't get his kids on the days he is supposed to, it pisses me off because all of a sudden he wants to be dad of the year. I don't think so. I have been doing it alone for a long time." Now, if you know where the story is going, it is so easy to just kind of like jump on all of the negatives. That's what most of the content made about her is, like, it's just all of the negatives. But in this specific moment, I'd love to take a step back and change our...
Well, it sounds like she has like a kind of a shitty baby daddy. So that's what they call him, right? A baby daddy. Is what it is, man. Sometimes men ain't shit. It's a fucking problem, brothers.
Our perspective potentially a little bit. There's actually kind of a lot to unpack just right there alone, right? Ash alludes to the fact if what she's saying is true, they had a custody agreement that he broke, which could potentially have legal implications. So not only are the girls having to A, adjust to life with divorced parents, potentially, B, face potentially lasting psychological and maybe even emotional distress from their father not showing up for, designated visits. If what she's saying is true, then I would be pissed too, right? To be as fair as I possibly can, starting out on a woman that, wow, does she just, Now, she also hints at new dating exploits, including...
Well, I mean, if she's such a bad person, that probably means that whoever she married or had kids with was also a bad person, So I wouldn't doubt that he would do bad things,
One relationship that got serious enough that she decided to make a permanent commitment. Yes, that's a tattoo.
That tattoo, dude, what's so funny about this tattoo is my mom has the same tattoo, but not a tattoo. It's a sign on her wall, and instead of Dr. Dre, it's Dachshund. She likes dachshunds a lot. It's something. It's quite interesting.
The guy's name, taking up the majority of her arm. Spoiler alert, it didn't last long. Here's a photo posted about a year and a half later with the caption, "Gonna do me from now on and focus on what's important. #single mom." Listen, I get it. Okay, many of us have been there. The wonderful thing about Ash, though, is not only did her #gonna do me come with confidence, it also came with a bunch of FUs to the haters.
It's so funny how females that don't know me and talk to me have my name in their mouth. Oh my God, it sounds like fucking high school to me all over again. If I wanted or had your guy, I would try, but I don't. I'm happy where I'm single, so do me a favor and leave my name out of your mouth. I'm an adult. Dude, it's so cringe when you post like this on social media, especially when you have fucking kids. Like, grow up. You know what I mean? Not everything has to be a public spectacle.
Now, despite it being my favorite thing when someone calls women females, very fresh and tit. Fresh and tit! Ha!
I got Yeah, no, there's something like, calling a woman a female is fine, but almost every time you hear it, it's from somebody trying to be like disrespectful towards people. So that's kind of the problem there,
That's funny. Maybe I should just call
it's the tang on it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that person's a Jew. Oh, that person's a Jew, right? Two different things. We got two different ideas for that.
That fresh and fit. That's what I meant to say. It's very fresh and fit. Very bacon and eggs. Very perhaps internalized misogyny. Although that's a term thrown around all the time these days. But I'm just kind of like, I wish we could know what this was referring to, because while in the land of critical thinking, we always give, a nod to innocent until proven guilty here, just like her besties, the police. # back the blue. Now, I'm just gonna say this. Remember this post, people. Remember the # back.
Well, of course she's gonna like the back the blue. She fucks inmates. She needs them to get caught in order for them to be ripe for the picking.
Blue, because this will not age well. Neither will another thing that I'm going to leave just right here. Bitches be like, we all the same N-word and used to beef. So
okay. Incredible.
So I'm gonna swallow up my stuff and put the N-word conversation aside, because I lived through January. I just need a break. But there is something about the way Ash freely uses Instagram like a 60-year-old Facebook aunt, which hasn't entirely changed over time. There's a sort of kind of like impulsive self-confidence that often seems to transcend the idea of self-awareness or introspection, all at the expense of some personal
sometimes bitches be too confident, you know what I'm saying?
Growth. But is there more to it than that? It's hard not to look at Ash's hundreds of selfies and mismatch of captions referring to dating to piece together that she had a tumultuous love life after her divorce from Izzy. Now, I did want to say just a quick sidebar. Unfortunately, it has been confirmed that Izzy passed away in June of 2024. So I just want to acknowledge that Ash and Izzy's daughters lost their father very recently, which
That's sad.
Imagine.
Unless he was a bad father, then it wasn't sad, but I don't really know the lore. So
it could be quite difficult. Again, we don't know the full extent of their relationship, but probably for the daughters, I'm going to do my absolute best to try to redact her daughters' names and images through this. I know people share their stuff all the time and they're very active on social media, but we're just going to
Their dad passing away. I took them to go visit their dad today, and broke down. She broke down, and she was like, I miss my dad. Again, I thanked him for giving me my two beautiful daughters, because without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Now, it's clear from Ash's Instagram that her relationship, marriage, and subsequent divorce was incredibly impactful for Ash, and it's unclear ultimately what led to the divorce, but she does make claims
of course it would be
that Izzy cheated. But at this point, 2016, Ash is 27 years old and had been with Izzy, or at least known Izzy, since she was 13 years old. So when she
she's my age. I was fucking 2016. I was fucking 26. Damn.
Got divorced, I can only imagine how much, her world may have bottomed out. I just like to explore some broader, more nuanced
my gay brother-in-law, he bottoms out a lot too.
Ideas around stories as we're like getting to understand what is happening here.
I asked God about my plans that I had in the future. If they weren't for me, let something happen. And as sad as it sounds, you guys, like, my kid's father ended up passing. That opened up my eyes even more, that the kids need me.
But back to it, I have a question. What do you do when your trust...
Hot take, your kids need you even if the dad isn't dead. That's a hot take, though. I don't know if the world's ready for that one.
...has been broken, like your self-esteem maybe railroaded, and you're single for the first time since you were literally 13 years old. If your answer was something like, well, you start dating inmates, of course, do I have a story for you. Brace yourself, things are...
Well, they can't go anywhere, I guess.
...about to get a lot more intense. Enter Isaiah Flaco Gonzalez.
Flaco? Wow. Sounds like an outstanding citizen. Probably not somebody that would be an inmate with that kind of name.
In August of 2019, Ash announces that she is engaged. Her fiance is named Isaiah Flaco Gonzalez, and they are in love, and she couldn't be happier.
I don't know, man. I'm not trying to be that guy, but anytime you got a skinny guy with a fat girl, either they're looking for a free meal, somebody who will work and they don't have to work, or they're a skinny white boy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like a southern skinny white boy. There's something about him. It's very interesting. It must be studied.
Oh, and he is incarcerated.
Yeah, that's why they call me the inmate hopper.
Do you want to know what's interesting? Can we find a single person that called her the inmate hopper, or is she really just trying to make that name stick? Because I feel like she's really proud of the fact that she fucks inmates for some reason. I don't know. Maybe she feels like it's a rehabilitation program. I guess everybody's got to get that stress out. Also, imagine if you've been in jail for a long time. Anything looks good. I'm not trying to be rude about that. I'm just saying. That's off topic, really. But I don't know. Okay.
You like them felons? Yeah, I mean, I've been with them up until this year.
I have a few questions. Let's read what Ash has to say. Quote, people are going to judge us, but like we say, screw what y'all think. I have been here for him and plan on to continue that through this journey God has given us. Yes, he is away from me, but these years will go by so fast and can't wait to become Mrs. Gonzalez. If you don't like us being together, then feel free to delete me, but he wanted me to let everyone know he is mine and I am his. Okay. When I look at that, I don't really think that answered any of my questions. But, you know.
Well, you know, it raised a question for me. This is a genuine question. I don't want it to sound offensive. Why would you brag about dating somebody that's an inmate? You know what I mean? Like, that just seems strange to me. You're bragging like this person is an outstanding citizen. Like, your kid just got through Harvard. You're putting a post up. Oh, my kid just got into Harvard. Getting into Harvard is actually incredibly impressive. Not even, you know, if you fail out of Harvard, I mean, probably more impressive than succeeding at a community college. But you understand my point, right?
You know, maybe the comments will explain things about her burying the prison guy, like why, or how, or what the even is life. So Big Mama 888, aka Christy Gonzalez, Isaiah's mother, says, quote, "You couldn't have chosen a more handsome man. Congratulations to the both of you. Whatever makes my Flacco happy."
Wait, the ex-husband? The dead guy? That's who's saying that? The dead guy's mom?
Then I'm happy as well. Just in case though, don't act up so you don't get snatched up. Don't hurt my Flacco girl. LOL, congratulations again. Oh, bloody hell. Don't act.
What the fuck? Did I get that right?
Back up so you don't get snatched up. Sage advice from your mother-in-law of a man who is literally in prison. Big Mama then comments, "Wait a minute, how much older than my baby are you exactly? LOL." To which Ash responds, "LOL, 6 years older." So just remember that, kids. We'll come back to that later. But for now,
it's not
Ash
bad. I'm 5 years older than my wife.
Is loving the title of prison wife. You know, almost like a military spouse, badge of honor type thing. Only Isaiah isn't serving the country, he's serving time.
Well, I mean, if he's doing labor for the country, I guess he's serving the country as a form of a slave. But that's probably too woke of a conversation for today.
Now, on September 14th, 2019, Ash, the dutiful prison wife, visits Isaiah, and wow, where to even begin? You know, the hearts, the glass, her in black and him in white, the guard in the background, the photo of a printed photo, the layers of this composition. It's like the new American Gothic. If American Gothic was a study of the prison industrial complex in the age of Instagram. And then,
see, look, she even mentioned it too.
A week later, on September 21st, 2019, they had a 4-hour visit. Now, if I'm understanding correctly, this was the first time.
I don't know why that suit makes him look kind of like Muslim, which is fine. It just makes him look like in that type of Muslim attire. I don't know what it is. I don't want to be disrespectful.
That they were able to like physically touch each other. It's around 5 or 6 weeks since Ash.
Well, there's also another problem is they're able to physically smell each other. So I wonder which one smells bad or good. You know what I mean? It's a big deal. I could deal with like a potentially, you know, a girl that maybe isn't a little unattractive, but I can't deal with a bad smell. You know what I mean? It's too much. I can't deal with like going down on some kind of like vinegary meal. I've been there before. I had an ex, and that's what it. And I don't even want. I don't care to expand upon this thought anymore. But I did it for a while. I was a trooper. Okay, you gotta give me a break on that one.
Announced their engagement at this point, so of course it's the perfect time to introduce him to her daughters. No, it's not.
I try to go see him every weekend. I do at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I will head to go visit him. So I will take y'all along as the videos come for visitations as well.
Bro, that's got to be fucking scary as a kid going to jail just to meet. Like, imagine going to jail to have to meet your own mother or father. You're probably getting harassed there in general. Now you're going to have to go to jail to meet your mom's boyfriend. That's fucking insane.
And then I will also, tell y'all more details on everything once, I start uploading a little more.
On October 27th, 2019, a little more than 2 months after going public with Isaiah, Ash brought her daughters to the prison to see Isaiah. Only she doesn't refer to him as Isaiah. She says he's their daddy. Again, with the hearts. Very, very on brand, Ash. Now, it's unclear if this is the girls' first time meeting Isaiah, but considering how fast that was.
Bro, they look like children in that picture. That's fucking insane. That's just so scary.
I certainly hope that it was their first time. As Ethereal Nails 303 says in the comments, this is not their daddy.
True.
Very to the point. But nevertheless, regardless of anyone thinking that it might be a little early to bring your young children to prison to visit a man.
Bro, that's just a disturbing picture to me. This is some guy that she hasn't even met in person yet, that she's engaged to, and she brings her daughters to the prison to meet him, and he's holding her like that's his own kid. That's just, there's a boundary issue here that needs to be addressed. That is fucking insane.
And behind
Bad
glass
mom.
and calling him their daddy. Ash continues to visit with and without her daughters. And for Christmas, Ash gets quite the romantic gift, a wedding ring.
Merry Christmas to me. I love it. It's just a little big, but I love it.
How do you afford
Now,
it?
currently, I think my favorite part about that post is the one singular comment on it, which says, and I quote, "it being fake, LOL."
Well, yeah, I mean, I imagine he couldn't afford anything. But you want to know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for fake wedding rings and shit. Because I just feel like, we don't need to spend a bunch of money on stuff My wife, I spent like $400 on my wedding ring to my wife, like my engagement ring. Because like, who the fuck is trying to spend? I'm not trying to like, I'm not trying to have to refinance my fucking house just so that I can get like a wedding thing for my wife. You know what I mean? I got her a $400 Disney ring. We didn't have any debt, which is really nice. It's nice not having any debt going into the marriage. So that's cool. You know, we did a small wedding too. We only did like, it was only like 7 people there at a park. Then we went to a Chinese buffet afterwards. And then we went on a mini honeymoon in Pennsylvania. And then we went to fucking Disney. And we don't have any goddamn debt. That's my advice to you. Okay?
Yeah, so on January 4th, 2020, Ash says she had the best visit ever with Isaiah.
They
Quote,
fart
I
each
love
other?
how he loves me, and knowing he has never loved anyone else like this is amazing. This trend of Ash propping herself.
That's probably true because he's in prison and he's probably so fucking chubbed up that he'll date anything. So it's sorry.
Up as the #1 woman, the queen bee in a man's life is one that we're going to see a lot of in the story, and maybe supports the theory that we discussed earlier where maybe, I don't know, maybe speculation, she might have had some potential insecurities or maybe even trauma from her having a child as a teen, her past divorce, the alleged infidelity, and the haters. And so a week after that post, literally just 6 days from posting about how much in love they are, remember, it is the greatest love that he's ever had, according to her, on January 10th, 2020, it seemed like there was trouble in prison. Paradise. Quote, I have went to visit for 20 weekends straight, not missing one since I got put on the visitation list since August 24/19. But this weekend I'm not going because I choose not to. Some things change and I honestly don't know if we will come back from this. Oh, it's hard when you're not at fault, but I'm going to continue to do what's needed of me and be the best mom I can be for, and then names her daughters.
Did he cheat on? He cheat on her with another man? Yeah, you know, here's my thing. This is like a really interesting concept I think people should kind of think about. You do not have to update social media about your life every time something happens. That's a crazy thought, I know. But, you know, if you guys break up, you do not have to let people on TikTok or Facebook know. It's a fucking really weird concept, but there's something to bring it up for you guys, just so you know.
Well, how mysterious. What could she be referring to? Did Isaiah do something? Did she realize he might not be the most solid choice of a partner for her? But I guess things must have been smoother because on January 25th, 2020, Ash posts something that looks like some sort of repost from a prison newsletter or something that features Isaiah. Let's read, shall we?
Isaiah?
Second look Saturday. Meet Isaiah. He was given a 45-year sentence at 16 years old. 45 years. What in the
hell did he do?
Whole grain, gluten-free did this guy do? Sorry. Okay, let's keep reading.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I know it's like a random thought, but she brought up gluten-free. My cousin Douglas, I love my cousin. He's gluten-free, right? So he can't eat gluten or else he has bad poops. He's dating a fucking guy that is lactose intolerant. What do you guys do together? My wife and I, you know what we do together? We eat. And that's probably why we're fat. So, you know, maybe that's the problem. But how the fuck is one of you guys going to be gluten-free and the other one of you guys is going to be fucking dairy-free? What are you allowed to eat? I like to sit and eat cheese and bread with my wife. I love cheese and bread with my wife. You know what I mean? Cheese and bread. What are you guys eating? Chicken all day? That's fucking insane. It's honestly like the type of love that could endure a gluten-free, dairy-free relationship is a type of love that I aspire to be a part of, frankly. That's fucking crazy.
Reading. Over the past 10 years, he has earned his GED, OSHA, Electrical Level 1, Construction Craft Skills, Construction Site Safety Corps, all levels, certifications. In that period, he has also gotten married and become a wonderful stepdad to 2 beautiful daughters. Why does this sound like getting married so that you could list, like, because this is like a profile that I think they wrote or something. It sounds like getting married and being a stepdad to 2 beautiful daughters would go really well at the parole board hearing. I'm just saying, it's just my observation, speculation, okay? So Isaiah believes that God will bring him home sooner than his release date. Isaiah is ready for the day when he can be given a second look. Hashtag second look 2021. Again, it sounds really convenient. The whole got married and has stepdaughters thing because he wants a second look. But you know, on one side, good for Isaiah for getting all those certifications.
I'm more concerned with like what the fuck was going on. Why did he go to jail? Also, anybody out there looking, I mean, electrical jobs, plumber jobs, tech job, these types of not tech jobs, but trade jobs, they make a lot of money, and we're in desperate need of them in the United States. So.
But a 45-year sentence as a minor? I ask again, what the hell is this guy in for? Why would a minor get such a long sentence? Well, I'll tell you, but it's not good.
But
So according to state documents, when Isaiah was 16, he and his friends planned an armed robbery of an Exxon employee, Mohammed Hashemi, who was taking cash from the gas station to the bank. So Isaiah and one other person rushed
I'm
Mohammed's
thinking of like Exxon, something else.
car, pulling pew-pews on him, forcing him to stop his
Jesus
vehicle.
Christ.
The other gunman immediately shot Mohammed, killing him.
of course.
Isaiah then drove Mohammed's van to a second location where he and his friends essentially burned it. After stealing Mohammed's life
Jesus
and dumping
Christ.
his body, they stole the money to buy, the white stuff, get tattoos and go gambling, and proceeded to brag about the robbery and taking Mohammed's life. Now, ultimately, quote, Gonzalez, a juvenile at the time of the offense, was
I mean, listen, I know you're young, but I feel like if that's murder, you should be in jail forever, I don't even think that's a hot take. I just feel like that's a little, how do you unmurder, how do you become an unmurderer,
given a plea bargain of 45 years in prison for the murder and robbery and 20 years in prison for arson in exchange for his truthful testimony at trial. So, yeah, really bad. Really puts a new perspective on his mother, Big Mama's words to Ash. You remember what she said? You couldn't have chosen a more handsome man. Just in case, though, don't act up so you don't get snatched up. LOL, congratulations again. Ha ha ha, LOL, don't get snatched up, girl. So my next question to Ash is, where the hell did she even find this guy? And what are we doing with the daughters?
I just wanted to
Like prisonmeats.com. You guys remember farmers meats or black people meats? It's actually interesting how many different, meeting websites they have. Crazy that you're not allowed to go on the black people meat website if you're not black, though. It's kind of disappointing, but you know what? What are you going to do, dude? I just go to the Waffle House now if I want to meet black women.
basically get to know who I was. Like I said, I have two little girls and they are my world, and he accepts them, which is really good. And I know a lot of people have, their opinions about it. You shouldn't bring your kids, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. But you know what?
For sure.
If I didn't think he was good, trust me, I would have my kids around that.
Well, it turns out Ash, they've known each other a long time. Remember that comment Isaiah's mom left asking Ash about their age gap? In 2020, Ash is 30 and Isaiah is 24. But at one point, Ash was 18 and Isaiah was 12. Hold on.
I'm so wait. What? I thought it was 6 years in the other direction. What?
Okay, so you're telling me that Ash has known Isaiah since he was a child? And like this caption says, he's been part of her life since then. So
Going through my old pics and look who I found sitting on my front bench at our church, my husband. That's a little weird. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean grooming, but it's a little strange. She'd have to form like an exclusive kind of abusive relationship with him, but still that's rather strange.
let's just play devil's advocate for a moment, okay? We do the perspective thing. We always do this to make sure we're trying to look at all sides and not feed the echo chambers, okay? That's what we do here. If the genders were reversed in this situation, if Ash was a
It would still be weird as fuck, but
man who was marrying a woman that he had met when she was just a child, would that not scream creepy? The math ain't math in here.
yeah, it's weird regardless, but it depends on the context, right? Like if they just knew each other from church and they would just talk from time to time, not necessarily a problem. If the older person developed like a deep relationship with them as a kid, and used that to like isolate them, and then we would have a problem. But I doubt that that's that. But maybe it is. I don't know.
Entirely for me. People are like, at all. Now we're gonna jump forward really quick in time to 2024 because Ash posts a video where she details the timeline of her and Isaiah's relationship.
He was a family friend. His family always has been friends, okay? They literally, I met him when he was 9, yes. I met him when he was 9. They started going to our church when he was 9, okay? Mind you, I was 6 years older than him. I was with my kid's dad already. I've been with my kid's dad since the age of 13 till I was 26, okay? I did not have nothing to do with Isaiah until he was 24, okay? Me and Isaiah did not get together until he was 24. He's always been in my life since he was 9 when they started going to our church. Me and him never talked that way or anything.
So they met when Isaiah was 9, but she says it was just sort of, like loosely in the
Sure.
neighborhood. So, kids, like meeting kids, like whatever. But she maintains that her parents and his parents were family friends, but her exchanges with Christy in the comments of her Instagram make it seem like they don't really know each other at all.
That's not the case because we were together when he was 24 and he was in prison. I married him in the prison. I was 30. I knew of him because they came to our church when he was 9. I was 15. We didn't do nothing. We had no kind of communication like that or nothing. He wasn't there. He was already in the streets, okay, doing the stuff and shouldn't have doing. When he got locked up, I cried because he was only 15.
What do y'all think? What do y'all think so far? Are you buying it? Is Ash just being a concerned neighborhood acquaintance, crying and genuinely affected by his arrest because he was so young at the time? Or is this all a load of home-baked bullshitery?
I try not to speculate too much. It's unironically one of the reasons why the 24-hour news cycle sensationalization of the news has become a big problem, because people are too keen on speculating. It's kind of toxic for your mentality, so I try not to do that unless it's necessary.
His friends, with his mom's permission, went to go visit him. And I left the kids with my parents. And went to go visit him. And it was behind the TV because you had to pick up a phone and it was a screen. And so I was like, hey, how are you doing? And he's like, I'm good. He's like, I want to write you. I said, okay, well, here's my parents' address. He wrote me to my parents' house.
I still have the letters to this day.
Okay, so we finally get some insight into how their relationship started.
And this was in 2010.
I can't understand a single word she's saying. I'll just have to wait for her to translate it for us.
And so then I started communicating with him. And 2019.
Oh, I'm assuming it's because she's listening to a song, so she has to like blur it.
Seems like Ash was the one who took it upon herself to visit him. And did you catch that little timeline slip? Sound like a slip? She first says that she went to visit and they started writing in 2010, and then corrects herself and says 2019. 2010 was the year that he took Muhammad Hashimi's life. He literally took his life. So the questions being asked amongst the internet: did Ash slip up here and admit that she had been communicating with Isaiah since he was first arrested at 15 years old, before he was even sentenced, while she was still married? Or was this just an honest mistake?
So I write him on JK, and he writes me through a handwritten still letter. And that's when we start writing from March until August. Then in August, I put my phone on so he can call me. And then he calls me. And I'm like, hey, I missed you, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, I missed you too. And then that's whenever I say, hey, I want to get your name tatted on me. And he's like, well, why don't you do it legit and just take my full last name?
Wait, hang on. Okay, so from March to August, they're writing letters. Then in August, they're talking on the phone, and Ash says she wants to get his name tattooed. So I guess we've seen that before from her.
Yeah,
and I said, what? He's like, yeah, why don't you marry me? And I said, we just reconnected. He's like, Ashley, I love you, I want to marry you. And I was like, okay.
But then he proposes, and I don't know, maybe prison romance is like The Bachelor, where it doesn't feel like the real world and timelines don't matter. But when Ash says, wait, we just reconnected from what? From when? Like, I thought you didn't really know him. Whatever the case, the two ended up together, and she continues and doubles down on basically everything.
So then we started the wedding process. So yes, me and him got married in 2019. He was 24 and I was 30. I have a marriage license and it states that in back. Right now he's 29. I'm 35. His birthday's in January. So I'll turn 36 and he'll turn 30. Our birthdays are 3 weeks apart.
I wonder if she does these prison marriages because these men are desperate. And she's just looking for like a desperate guy that she has some level of control over. I don't know. That might be too much speculating.
I had no communication with him like that until he was actually 24. So if I were to sit there and say that I loved him when he was 9, that's weird. Okay? I met him when he was 9. I have a picture of him at my senior graduation dinner, sitting on the front bench. I've known him since he was young. Yes, we were family friends. His family, my family, still to this day are friends.
It seems like the more she explains how distant they were as Isaiah was growing up, the more it sounds like they did actually know each other. But this creator, AshT.Nunu, who I've been featuring clips from, found another Easter egg. A video of Ash talking about—
Was she like a really big League of Legends player or something?
Her relationship with Isaiah from 2019.
Well, also, you know, I've known his family for years, and they were really good family friends of ours. And this year, me and him reconnected again, and one thing led to another. We were writing letters back and forth, you know, just seeing how each other were. I started the conversation. I'm the one that wrote him first, and, you know, when he replied, I was so happy. I couldn't wait. I hadn't heard from him in 9 years. We lost contact for 9 years. And, you know, he's been in there for 10 years. So, yeah, we lost contact, but whenever I reconnected back with him, it was like we never lost contact. So, if that makes sense. But, yeah, so we were like, you know, writing each other, telling each other how we felt.
First of all, does marrying a man who is in prison for 45 years for taking someone's life somehow not make you a single mom in these streets? Like, I'm not trying to be harsh.
Yeah, it does. I also imagine it makes it a little easier for you to stay with your spouse at that point, right? Because if you don't really like them, well, it depends on the type of person you are. If you don't really like them, I mean, how are you going to see those issues, you know? But I couldn't do it. I like my wife too much. We're best friends.
About some of this stuff, right? But I'm sure that there are many positive relationships with inmates out there. But like, the guy literally can't be there out in the world with you, to help care for the kids. He's literally behind glass and bars and concrete. So I don't totally get this logic. But anyways, let's keep listening.
I've known him for about 13 years, and backstory is we couldn't be together back then because we both had our own lives. He is younger than me though, so that was a little bit of a situation. But I was also with my kid's dad, so
Just want to repeat that. We couldn't be together back then because we both had our own lives. He is younger than me, so that was a little bit of a situation.
Does she mean his life when he was in jail or prison? Like, what life is she talking about?
A situation. One might say that's more of a statuation. Okay, but seriously, you see what I mean when earlier I said that Ash does this thing where she changes her story like all the time, allegedly. I think that's what people call lying. Allegedly?
Probably should just keep it off the internet, but she wants to be a big internet person because, I'm 35, so when I was younger, it was super normal for like a 20-year-old and like a 14-year-old. It was not super normal, but it was like more acceptable. It shouldn't have been, but or like those 5 or 6 year age gaps were more acceptable, and you just kind of like back then you just kind of kept it hush hush, and you just kind of went like, oh. Like I know people today that are happily married, God bless them and all that, but like they met at interesting times. That's all I'll say. That's unfortunately just how things were back then. But you kind of keep that off the internet, and she probably has a similar experience. because she's my age, you know?
So it's hard to know exactly what time period she is talking about here, but if my math is like remotely correct, Ash was separated from her baby daddy and first husband by age 25, with the divorce finalizing when she was 27. Isaiah is 6 years younger than her, so Ash saying that they couldn't be together because they were living their own lives. Does that mean when Isaiah was younger than 16, living his life and not yet convicted of murder and in prison, was she longing for an underage like...
Well, also, you know, I've known his family for years, and they were really good family friends of ours. And this year, me and him reconnected again, and one thing led to another. We were writing letters back and forth, you know, just seeing how each other were. I started the conversation. I'm the one that wrote him first.
Wait, okay, didn't she say that Isaiah asked to write her when she went to visit? And now here she's saying that she wrote to him first.
And when he replied, I was so happy. I couldn't wait. I hadn't heard from him in 9 years. We lost contact for 9 years. And, you know, he's been in there for 10 years. So, yeah, we lost contact. But
you lost contact for 9 years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that makes no sense that he would reach out to her first. I don't think I would ever believe that. It makes more sense to me that, like, that she reached out first, obviously. And then he's like, oh, okay. Sure, I'll talk to you. I mean, fucking, you know what I mean? What else am I going to do? I got nothing better to do in my life. I'm in fucking jail.
The implication
Prison?
being that you had contact with Isaiah for the first year that he was incarcerated in 2010. Ash!
But whenever I reconnected back with him, it was like we never lost contact. So if that makes sense. But yeah, so we were like, you know, writing each other, telling each other how we felt. And then I finally just had to give it to him. I was just like, I like you. I really like you. I don't want to lose contact anymore. And so, you know, we started chit-chatting a little more. And then, you know, the phone calls started coming, visitations started coming. And now we're happy. We're together. We're engaged. Soon to be married, like I said.
No, sidebar really quick. As a lot of commenters noted, her accent has completely changed. She sounds like, you know, a typical Texas girl here. And in current videos, which I'll show more of later, she has an affected way of speaking. Like she's trying to either, I don't know, she's trying to be like sexy or tough. I don't know really what it is. On November 6, 2019, Ash and Isaiah get married, and in 2020, she gets his name tattooed on her wrists and their wedding date on her finger. And of course, she had to do a cover-up of the previous tattoo. And then on October 21st, 2020, just two...
The fuck you getting all this money for all these tattoos? I make decent money, and I still don't even have fucking tattoos, because I don't know, it seems like a lot of money. It just seems like a big financial, you know, investment. Big commitment to, get a big old tattoo. I got a couple of them, but I don't know. I've wanted another one. It's just, I don't know if I could justify the cost. It's crazy.
2 weeks shy of their 1-year anniversary, Ash announced that she and Isaiah are getting a divorce. That was quick. So what happened? What could have broken up such a beautiful bond?
Maybe it's because they didn't actually know each other because he's in fucking prison.
Even if glass was separating it, that was 14 years in the making. Even if age gaps are very weird in this. I guess we'll never know.
When we get divorced,
I don't know, maybe she's just like addicted to, not even addicted, it's probably not a good word, but she just loves the fucking honeymoon phase when you first start dating somebody.
In 2021, I stopped all communication with all his family. I don't talk to any of them anymore.
Actually, she seems like the kind of person that's just really difficult to be with. And so maybe that's why she fucking talks to guys in prison, because then she doesn't have to actually be with them, but then once they get together, they don't like the smell or something. I don't know.
It's still tatted, yes, right here. That's his first name and his last name. Yes, I still have it. I will never cover it either, because when you love that one person, your love never goes away. So his name will still always say, someday that I go to heaven. I will never take his name off.
So, time to move on. And
probably had somebody who used to be in prison do the tattoo. That's funny.
Move on, Ash did. She moves on so much, in fact, that she dates another incarcerated individual.
Who would have thought?
And then another, and another.
Damn.
Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Oh, this is fun. So, I need to have a quick sidebar with you because something Ash said is just stuck in my brain.
I'm not a single mom anymore. I am engaged to be married soon to my fiance, who is incarcerated. Like I said, you know, I have 2 little girls, and they are my world, and he accepts them, which is really good. And I know a lot of people have, you know, their opinions about it. You shouldn't bring your kids, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. But you know what? If I didn't think he was good, trust me, I wouldn't have my kids around that.
Define good, because even with Isaiah's plea deal, he is still serving 45 years for murder. And while nothing about the prison system is black and white, this is throwing up just like all sorts of red flags. Okay, I need the red flag guy to enter the chat.
Tripling jump. Hello. Sorry, I got here as fast as I could.
All right, let's have another moment of critical thinking, a perspective moment. This is where we focus on different possible perspectives, maybe play devil's advocate and try to get some, you know, more context for the bigger societal picture here. So there is a larger debate about what sort of life experiences inmates should or should not be allowed to have, and genuinely people sort of like judge the amount of privileges an inmate gets with the severity of their crimes, like kind of in theory. Anyways, in Isaiah's case, one could argue that because he was a minor and he is serving, you know, such a long sentence, the leniency is okay because it is the only life experience experience that he will virtually get for a very long time. Plus, the fact that he took a plea deal.
Are we talking about like what we should do when it comes to like getting people? Like, yeah, I have no problem with educating these people. If we feel like they can get out of prison and go into society, we should supply them with resources to do so, which is going to be different types of education. Like, I have no problem with that. I mean, what the fuck is the point of prison if not to reform somebody? Is the reform effective? Probably not, but...
and testified it against his fellow...
That's not because of them necessarily. It's just the system is flawed.
Defendants could be seen as, showing remorse maybe. And as we saw in the second look post, he has been working hard, to earn certifications and taking the steps to use his prison time as a way to rehabilitate him into society, which is a school of thought about, what prison is actually for. It's supposed to rehabilitate, right?
Almost feels like she's afraid to talk about this. Like, yeah, like there's nothing wrong with fucking reform.
On the other hand, the counterpoint, Isaiah was instrumental in taking a life. An innocent person named Muhammad who will never
I don't really
get...
think a murderer is somebody that can be reformed personally, but I'm fundamentally fine with prison, whatever,
the chance to experience love or a relationship ever again. So is it fair that Isaiah gets to have moments in his life that Muhammad will never get again? Now, I don't think anything like this is cut and dry. And in reality, we have no idea about Isaiah's state of mind or his feelings about his actions because, we only hear about him through Ash's point of view. So there's no way to really tell any of this. But I had to ask the questions. Like, what do you think? Should inmates be allowed to date and get married? Is that crossing a line?
Not really. It's like a weird... It's weird. It's like a weird fence sit, but all right, what do you? Whatever.
How should that line be determined? Who gets to draw that line? So just leave your thoughts in the comments as we go through this. Beyond Isaiah, it brings us to the other side of the conversation about lockup relationships, to the people who are living in the free world but have a desire to date or marry prison inmates. Now, I wanted to try to understand what might drive someone to this lifestyle. Like, is there a term for this? Well, it turns out, yes, and it's called Hybristophilia. Hybristophilia is a paraphilia involving sexual interest in and attraction to those who commit crimes. Now, we've examined this phenomenon before a bit, like in the video about Wade Wilson on Swoop 2, my second channel, but it's one of those...
Wade Wilson? Isn't that fucking Deadpool or something? Or am I thinking of something else?
Things that seems to always kind of pop up. Psychology Today says, quote, one research study examined women of varying ages, ethnicities, education, and employment statuses who were in relationships with incarcerated men. While they weren't diagnosed with major mental illnesses or personality disorders, many came from difficult upbringings with a history of...
It is Deadpool.
And notably, 90% had experienced dominant verbally abusive prior marriages. Now, if Ash's cheating allegations against Izzy are true, that might put her squarely in that category, maybe. Psychologist Ami Rokach that has worked in the prison system for 28 years, and in an interview with TMHR, they explain why some women choose incarcerated men. There are different types of women that could be interested in this
I actually examined this as well, and it turns out they're just really fucking stupid. That's what it is.
Type of relationship. There's the very high nurturing type who feels they can save someone. Then there is the type who wants someone who is considered tough, rough, and...
Oh, see, that's women. Women just feel like they could save men. It's kind of just, it's like silly. Like, what are you guys doing? Now, honestly, I guess I shouldn't be too critical of that because my wife, well, not even save, change. My wife changed me, and it's for the better. So I appreciate her being stupid and trying, but, it's still, what are you doing? The hell's the matter with you?
Manly, because this gives the illusion that they can protect them. Third, there is the rebellious type who are unhappy and angry and who like a vicarious rebelliousness through this experience. Now,
Wade Wilson's also a violent criminal some women went nuts on online about. Damn, I didn't even know that.
Ash herself has actually reflected on why she has been attracted to so many inmates.
I was growing up going to prisons to visit my dad's best friend. I would always watch cop shows like the TV show Cops. I would always watch that show. I was always into that kind of stuff since I was a young girl. As I got older, I just had this thing to be with somebody incarcerated. Like, I don't know, I liked bad boys, okay? So, yeah, that's how my prison lifestyle started. Like, I wasn't just brought into this life, Like, I just had this thing about prisons. I don't know what it is, to be honest.
So, spending formative years as a young girl around men she's been told are dangerous. I just kind of feel like there's no way that didn't leave a lasting impression, Plus, I'm willing to bet that for Ash, as someone who has had her trust, likely broken in a previous relationship, maybe even in her parents, the ability to know exactly where your partner is at any time, maybe that feels really comforting, He's got the same address.
I don't know. You know what's interesting? My wife told me a story. When she was younger, she used to be afraid of people with Down syndrome. So like when she was a literal child, and her mom kind of like educated her on it. And now she is a social worker that works with adults with intellectual developmental disabilities. So I wonder, that sounds weird, but I wonder if there's an aspect of that, something that's like generally considered, I don't know, almost like different. I don't know. Being part of it, like she's like, well, I'm comfortable around inmates. I understand them better. Other people don't give them a shot. It's almost like liking the underdog. You know what I mean? Like enjoying the underdog character or something. In your mental state, like you're comfortable with them because of your life experience and your upbringing. I don't know. Maybe that's something. I don't know.
Address, girl. He's always gonna have the same address. He's gonna keep that same address. He's always gonna have that same address for at least 45 years. So you're gonna know exactly where he is. Then again, we could be looking way too hard into all of this.
I just date inmates.
At least I can say I tried. Now, after her breakup from Isaiah, Ash started dating another inmate, Noe Trevino. Let's listen to TikToker Alma Rose break down what landed Noe in prison.
So on March 29th,
I only dated outmates. You know what I'm saying?
2015, Noe was 23 years old and he was outside a nightclub called Old School. So he got into an argument with two men and the argument somehow moved into a vacant lot and things got heated. Now, Noe pulled up his shirt to show a knife and everybody kind of backed off. Now, Louis Maston was there with his grandchildren. He was 49.
It's weird because I keep my knife in my pants, you know what I'm saying?
9 years old, and he got out of the club and saw one of his granddaughters near the fight, so he got concerned. Maston tried to break up the fight between them. Now, he was known as somebody that was always trying to break up the fights, trying to keep the peace. Noe pushed Louis Maston, and Louis Maston pushed him back, and then Noe grabbed Louis and began him. And despite the doctor's efforts, he later passed in the hospital. Now, Noe ran away. He left the state, but he was arrested and found months later, and his bond was set at $1 million. So they convicted him of unaliving Louis Maston, and he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Why 25 years? He also does have a previous felony conviction of injury to a child. So I think he should have gotten more time.
So, another murder. And like Isaiah, another completely innocent random victim. This one by the name of Louis Maston. May he rest in peace. And let me remind everyone, this is now the second murder that Ash Trevino has brought into her daughter's lives. And this also happens to answer the question about where she got the last name Trevino from. And on one of her many, many live streams, Ash tells someone about her relationship with Noe.
That's your husband?
Well, totally.
Oh, he's not bad looking. How long were you with him?
2 years.
Damn, while he was in there?
Yeah.
She kept this guy's last name for like ever? What?
I met him while he was in prison.
I would never trust a man in prison, ever.
And then he has my portrait on his arm right there. That's my portrait on his arm.
When is he getting out?
He sees parole in 2028. But that's my husband. But we haven't talked since 2022.
Why did you guys break up?
I caught him talking to his ex-girlfriend.
That's what I'm saying. I could not trust even in these deals.
No. So I left him and then, yeah.
So they met in prison, got married, broke up when she caught him talking to an ex.
Isn't that crazy that you're dating a guy in prison that's in prison for doing a bad thing, and then they do a bad thing, and then you give up on them immediately? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, you'd think you'd be like, all right, obviously what they did was wrong, but they did kill a guy. So you know what? This is to be expected for them to do silly stuff like this, all right? Let me keep that in mind. Let me keep that in mind here.
My speculation theory is right, and one of her motivations for dating inmates is being able to like kind of keep tabs on them at all times, literally so they can't go out and like see other women, meet other women, you know, and then be competition, or, you know, there could be like abandonment issues going on. And again, that's also assuming that the betrayal did happen. She also happens to say that every relationship she's had ended in cheating, being cheated on in some capacity.
She married a man in prison. Why?
This is her second marriage in prison.
Oh my God.
And when we lean into more critical thinking, is this some form of self-sabotage? And more importantly, if Ash said that she was always brought to prison with her dad as a kid, and that's why she's drawn to, you know, marry men in prison, even those that take the lives of others, and she's openly taking her 2 young daughters to prison to see these men, what the fuck might that mean for her daughters?
Interesting.
Oh my God. Y'all just come live with us.
Yes, please.
I wonder, like, if she's even thinking about her daughters or the cycle that this could perpetuate. Could this be considered some type of child harm? Like, if you keep bringing them into this environment with these strange, new, at least previously, very violent men.
Well, I mean, she's obviously not going to think of it like that. Like it was said, or I guess she said, it's a normalized for her to hang out with fucking like inmates when from a young age. So she's probably comfortable with them enough to not really think that they're a threat, even if they are kind of a threat, you know?
And did you catch that her new hubby has a tattoo of her face? That still seemed like a big point of pride for her. Again, she seems to be kind of chasing this feeling of being put on a pedestal, of, you know, someone being almost obsessed with her, like she's the only person that exists to them. Like she said of the previous murderer husband, I am not inspired here, Ash. And just a note, she is in the process of getting a divorce, allegedly, but she's technically still married as of me recording this. Now, at this point, Ash has been posting consistently and live streaming constantly. It's in one of those live streams that she's mentioned she's dated, are you ready for this? 26 inmates in 5 years. What the ever living
But last time I checked, so Jesse was number, I think he was like 20 something, like 25 maybe.
Was she just collecting inmates here? Is she a fucking prison herself? Jesus Christ.
And I've only talked to one more after him, so probably 26 in the last 5 years. That is a lot!
So, first question, what qualifies as dating an inmate? Is this like being pen pals? Also, Ash and Noe broke up in 2022. It's early 2025 now. That's only 3 years. So, if there was overlap with either her marriage with Isaiah or Noe, then maybe the reason she's giving for the breakups about them cheating isn't the truth. I mean, she also said that she wanted to be with Isaiah sooner, but she was married to her first husband. So at the very least, there's a strong likelihood that she's being super hypocritical for being upset about Noe talking to an ex, allegedly.
Guys, he's innocent, and I don't care what y'all say, what y'all think, he's innocent, and y'all are gonna see that. And when he becomes, and yeah, they were like, oh, he's not innocent, he's dumb, this and that.
Whatever way you slice this disaster turkey dinner, it's messy, okay? The mashed potatoes are just smeared all over it. I don't know why I'm making a Thanksgiving reference. We are long past that. You know what else is messy though? Jesse. And yep, you guessed it. He's another prisoner that Ash started dating. Only this time, Jesse was actually slated to be released a few months after they started dating. Ooh, we're moving up in the world. On top of this, Ash revealed that she didn't know what he looked like before they met.
I don't even know how he looks. I don't know how he looks.
What the fuck is the matter with this girl? Does she really not know what he looks like?
But that didn't stop them from having some big plans.
Be on TikTok, only that first.
Did she fuck any of these guys? Like, what is she doing? Is she having sex with any of these men? Like, what's the point? Is she fucking getting boned? Is she not getting boned? I feel like what's one of these relationships unless you're fucking them? That's why I don't think I could ever do some kind of a prison situation. I would just be gay.
Day he's out, which is in 137 days. Once he's actually like at the hotel room with me, we'll probably do like one live together because I'm gonna get a room for the whole weekend with us. But we have a baby to make, so we ain't gonna be on it. We got a baby to make.
So you're just gonna like get married to somebody or start making the baby immediately after you start dating them or something, or that's it. How the fuck are they gonna raise the kid? What?
We are literally gonna try and get me pregnant the first month he's home.
Oh.
So Ash basically just keeps making great decisions that surely won't have an impact whatsoever on her.
Well, you know, you don't really know a guy. You're dating him in prison. You get out and boom, let's make a baby together. I mean, it's probably not a good idea. It's probably a slippery slope to be like, oh, maybe not everybody should have a baby. We should do a baby license. But if there ever was an argument, this would be it.
For children, obviously. And then 137 days later, Ash streamed picking him up from prison.
I'm shaking. Oh my god. Here he comes, you guys. Here they come. Oh fuck.
Here they come, guys.
I'm nervous, bitch. I'm nervous.
Not the gagging.
Oh my god. Oh my god, here they come. Yes, brother. Yes, here we go. Fuck you, TBC.
For real.
Why is he in the back seat? And why is she picking him up? Wouldn't you want to have a big romantic moment that isn't live streamed? Why am I asking logical questions for
No, of course not. It seems like her whole life is online, honestly, at this point.
totally illogical people? Holy shit, okay? I keep trying to do the critical thinking, but my gosh, maybe just more critical and less thinking at this point.
I put the blanket all over her. I just wanted to see that. If I seen anything else, it wasn't gonna work out. You know what I'm saying?
But don't.
I imagine that the second that they get out of prison and they start looking at other girls and they start getting more attention, they're not going to be into this. They're going to like fucking opt out of it. You know what I mean? That's, but okay.
Don't worry. She was always there for her children.
Tell them how I was whenever you were in prison. I was always there for my kids, right?
As far as I knew, yes.
Honestly, I missed the days.
I love the plausible deniability language. As far as I knew, yes. Not yes. As far as I knew, yeah. Sounds like he's trying to keep it safe on that one.
Before I knew what TikTok Live was actually like in these corners of the internet. But then, sad, they broke up within 2 weeks. But things got extra weird, and honestly, it pissed me all the way off when Ash revealed that she might be pregnant, only to very quickly be accused of faking the pregnancy.
If I'm pregnant...
What are you calling her, fat? Like, what is that? Kind of fucked up, dude. What the hell? How do you fake a pregnancy?
She already knows what to do as an older sister. She's gonna help me raise that baby. She's gonna stand on business. And what else, baby? We don't need no Jesse, right? No, I'm gonna prove all y'all wrong.
In that video, Ash's oldest daughter is the girl talking off camera, and I don't know about you, but to me, this is a little shocking. Like, not only that Ash is saying that her oldest daughter will help her raise a baby, you know, her daughter just knows what to do, she's gonna step in, which, I mean, is not at all a child's job to do, to raise your child. But this mother-daughter duo is both acting like out-of-control, nasty teenagers together.
I'm gonna prove all y'all wrong. We don't need Jesse. Well, that said, girl, get your own life and quit hating. Y'all are too old to be acting like this. Y'all are acting like teenagers. I'm supposed to be acting like this, not y'all. Get out of here. Get your own life.
Now, we'll come back to that, but I couldn't.
How old's her fucking kid there? It's not bad to be friends with your kid, but, you know, obviously you're going to set some boundaries there, brothers.
I could not address it after watching that video. But one good thing came from all of this. Ash has decided she's done with inmates, allegedly.
I'm like literally done with inmates. I don't want no more for real. Like,
that's me when after I eat a big meal and I'm like, I'm done eating forever. And then I start crying and then I get hungry very quickly because it was a lot of Chinese food. And, you know, you don't really stay full from that, unfortunately. I don't know what kind of demon wizardry's in there, but you don't stay full when you eat Chinese food, guys. Just a little advice.
I love spending money on myself or my kids. Like, I love being able to live on my own. And like, if one day I meet somebody and he comes over, like, I don't have to hide. You know, like, it's better to be alone and single.
Quick question. What do you think she was going to say when she started to say she wouldn't have to hide if someone comes over? What does she have to hide? What an odd thing to say.
Her kid?
I'm just learning to be alone. You know, I don't like to be alone. And I think that's my problem, is because I don't like to be alone. I mean, I live alone, so I might as well.
I mean, people usually don't. You know, it's kind of like a common thing, but
be alone, right?
You know, so.
Now, Ash touches on something here that I think a lot of us can understand. I mean, you know, like, not the inmate hopping, get pregnant, have your kid, raise your kid stuff, but the stuff about how she doesn't like to be alone. Loneliness is really hard, and I've seen a lot of discourse shaming Ash for, you know, jumping from, you know, one trash man to another, an argument that definitely has, you know, very grown, very tall legs. But let's zoom out for a second for some additional potential perspective, to be fair. You know, on one hand, there are millions of lonely people who don't, you know, have a broken picker, let's say, but I would also like to point out these inmates also picked Ash. So it takes two to prison tango.
Well, yeah, but again, they kind of have limited options, right? So they'll pick a guy's asshole if they could.
But while Ash's relationship pattern is, you know, on the extreme side of dysfunctional, we all have repeating relationship cycles, you know, healthy or otherwise, whether it's because we, you know, were raised in a chaotic environment, so we only feel safe with chaotic people, or we have, you know, a deeply ingrained belief that we don't deserve good love, so we only accept bad relationships. The thing is, Ash is a grown-ass woman with her own autonomy and can make her own choices. But
have we seen her ass yet? Just curious. That's actually an inappropriate question.
But her kids, the way her daughter was literally mimicking the garbage behavior of her mom on that live stream is beyond disturbing to me.
I'd be crying if you were my mom. Well, she's not your mom, is she? I feel sorry for y'all. Honey, I feel sorry for your face.
I feel sorry for your face.
I had questions about Ash growing up around prison men and potentially passing the cycle on to her daughters, and that clip alone makes me feel like the cycle has already cycled, and that sucks, if so, for everyone. But
I mean, you can date, what the fuck? You can date a guy in prison if you want. Like, you can do it. There's a way to engage with that responsibly. And that is that you can kind of talk to them, but don't really commit to them while they're inside, and then get to know them when they come out. But you don't have to be their entire, like, I'm going to fix you support structure. That's probably not good.
I guess at this point, Ash has sworn off inmates, so her relationship with her daughters and her love life can only get better from here, right?
Of course.
Right?
But we're only halfway through the video, so that's not right.
Wrong. So totally and completely wrong. It was actually her relationship with Jesse and her live streaming of the relationship that really led to her major increase in views and her new committed relationship to TikTok Live. They really should.
Were they all just showing up to hope that it failed?
Have just banned that app when they had the chance. The TikTok lives of the brief but tumultuous relationship attracted swarms of people to her page, basically wanting to see this person make terrible decisions in real time. And because we live in a late stage capitalism, we also know the law of supply and demand. So as the viewers come and demanded more from Ash.
Well, I think the supply and demand exists regardless of the stage of capitalism, but yeah, sure.
He supplied it and began to stream on TikTok Live basically every day for hours on end. Who has the energy?
I first started actually my TikTok back in 2019. Nobody ever, yeah, they don't know that. But I was actually a prison wife. So yeah.
When I say she was streaming, she was streaming, okay? All of this.
Streaming is an easy job, but I couldn't do like actual live streaming all day. It's too much. It's too much fucking energy to talk to people all fucking day. That's why I choose to do my content strategy the way I do it, you know?
On top of somehow having to do a full-time job as a dental office receptionist. So during the day, she was scheduling cleanings and root canals, and at night she was terrorizing the internet with her own form of root canals. Now, we don't have time, nor do I have the desire to challenge my will to live,
I guess she was making that money.
to get into every problematic thing she has done, okay? We will hit some of the highlights, but frankly, I don't have the patience, and you don't deserve the brain rot of going through thousands of hours of Ash Trevino being problematic on the internet. Things like, you know, ignoring her kids, being drunk, and talking with other TikTok live show characters.
Bro, okay? We're gonna be money hungry. We're gonna stay on podium for 3 days in a row. Okay? Yeah. I don't care if y'all have a family to feed or what. I want every single coin that y'all can give me.
And yes, drinking and streaming.
That's like the worst thing, man. Like, one of the things I've always wanted to make sure I did was have a content strategy that wasn't like, that wasn't dependent on getting money from people, from like donations. Cause it can be great when people pop in and donate. That's awesome. I really appreciate when you guys do, but it's not a very sustainable, at least in my opinion, metric. And I never wanted to beg and be like, guys, do this, do that. Like the most that I, you know, even mention coming in, like the only time I'll really mention even getting a membership is someone's like, oh, where can I send you stuff? I'll be like, oh, on the Discord, but you have to be a member. It's $2 a month. You have to link your thing, or you could just send it to me on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to even plug it that heavily. You know, it's just like uncomfortable to me to constantly beg for fucking shit. That's the fucking, you know, I don't know. So like that's what all TikTok Live is, and they don't pay for shit, dude. I don't know what it is, but I've never had a good TikTok Live day. I feel like it's only for like to boost your viewership on other platforms. It's not a particularly good platform, in my opinion.
Do I really need to mention that that is a bad combination? And with her kids around, it's even worse, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that you can't enjoy yourself, you know, every now and then, or, you know, or that parents simply should never drink. I don't know that answer, nor is it my place to determine where that line is drawn with people, but we can also probably recognize when someone has objectively gone so far beyond the line that they can't even see the line anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's a big issue to like have a beer by your kids or something. I don't know. I don't really know how she's drinking. What the fuck? I don't really know how she's drinking. Like, is it horribly irresponsibly, or is she just like drinking under kids? Like, I don't think it's a huge deal.
Like that bitch, that line, that bitch is just back there. It is just a tiny dot all the way in the back, okay? You can't even, it's just out there.
But again, when I'm at home drinking by myself.
I mean, if you're getting like violently drunk, I think that's probably a problem. You could argue that it could start your kid on a dependency of alcohol at some point, but I don't really think it's a huge issue to fucking drink, you know, in front of your kid. Me personally.
It shouldn't matter what my parenting is because my kids are not there. Or if they are there, they are in their own room, on their phones with their friends, or in the living room watching a movie.
But again, sprinkling in some more critical thinking, we love to do in our community.
What are you talking about critical thinking?
Did you know that approximately 7.5 million children in the US live with caretakers who have alcohol use disorder? In the article, Parenting to Prevent Childhood Alcohol Use, the National Institute.
Back in my day, we just called it having fun. Having a good time.
Institute of Alcohol A and Alcoholism suggests parents, quote, model responsible alcohol consumption, and says that authoritative parents, those who provide a healthy and consistent balance of discipline and support, are the most likely to have teenagers who respect the boundaries as they have established around drinking.
Thinking about it now, I don't think my mom ever drank around me, though, except for when we went to like a family party or something. Actually, I drank more than my mother did when we went to a family party. It's probably not like a good thing, you know. I got drunk as a kid at family parties, but different time, brothers. And, you know, we always had an eye on me. It was just beers, so my mom would always keep an eye on me just in case anything got crazy, which it never really did. It was always just fun.
And other behaviors.
Getting wasted in front of your kids is like a problem, you know. But when we would go to like to a wedding or something, my mom would have a drink and she'd have a little fun, but nothing ever crazy.
However, adolescents exposed to permissive, authoritarian, or neglectful parenting are less influenced by what their parents say about drinking. So I wonder which parenting style Ash falls under. Perhaps the one that says, quote, neglectful parents exert low control and discipline as well as low warmth and responsiveness. For example, they show no interest at all in a child's school performance. And by the way, this isn't shame for people who are dealing with addictions, right?
I think it is. You should feel ashamed of yourself for neglecting your children.
Addiction is a very real disease for a lot of people. I just also know that it can like really plague a lot of relationships, a lot of households, and the kids that are growing up in them. So obviously, if you or anyone you know is struggling with that, please do reach out. There's so many free resources available to help you get through that or help your loved one get through that. And hopefully healing can be found from all of that. But I do have another question. I feel like this should be an obvious question. But
just keep in mind, if you have like an alcohol issue in kids, you're choosing alcohol over your kids. Might sound negative and like, oh, that's me. It's true. I mean, it might be a tough choice for you, but you're still making that choice. So I feel like maybe that could be productive for some people to feel that hopefully productive level of shame for your behavior.
But like, I don't even know that it gets asked that much. Is there not some responsibility with the people who are consuming Ash's content? Like, you know, the people who are there day in and day out watching the live streams, leaving literally money tips, hyping her up in the comments. They're literally the reason Ash does this all the time, and her daughters are subjected to it all the time. And
I mean, I suppose, but at the end of the day, you know, it's kind of your responsibility to deal with your own shit. You know, people like watching train wrecks, unfortunately. So, like, yeah, you could say that they're bad, but at the end of the day, she's the fucking problem.
They're the ones who are in the middle of it, right? And if Ash didn't have so many people watching, she'd probably stop. Maybe? Because really though, what is the draw of watching this? It is a train wreck on the Hot Mess Express. And the thing is, as we continue to put our critical thinking caps on, there are a million reasons why people are attracted to this kind of profane content, actually. In an article from Very Well Mind, quote, social comparison theory suggests that people value their personal and social worth by assessing how they compare to others. And in particular, downward social comparisons are when we compare ourselves to others who are worse off than us. Two such comparisons are often centered on making ourselves feel better about our abilities or traits. We might not be great at something, but at least we are better off than someone else. So basically, even if your life sucks, you watch Ash and you think, at least I am not like that lady. But then there's a lot of people who like look up to it. So I don't know, it's 2025. Honestly, nothing seems to matter anymore. And the majority of the stuff that I've seen Ash do is very concerning and very alarming, but it also has created this incredibly unhealthy parasocial relationship vortex between Ash and the viewers that just goes back and forth in a feeding frenzy of non-stop rage bait and verbal attacks, often like on both sides, all of which her kids are exposed to and starting to literally participate in, as we saw that clip. And the other thing is, Ash is very aware of the culture that she's cultivating.
You know, and instead of y'all really like hating on me, y'all really should get to know me. Y'all don't even know me. Y'all know me based off of what y'all see. And in reality, it's crazy because what if y'all were in my position and y'all were getting as much hate as I get? Would y'all be able to handle it?
I'd probably just turn the fucking computer off. I don't know if you guys know that, but you could just stop. You could just stop.
I don't think so. It takes a strong person to handle this. And I'm still here.
Whatever makes you feel better.
Carlos, thank you, babes. Y'all are spending more time commenting than to just scroll up. Scroll up. And I'm not negative.
This to me is a perfect example of someone who being right and wrong at the same time. Like, yes, the amount of hate and trolling she gets must absolutely take a toll on her and would
but at the same time, that's the only reason that she has any level of attention. So.
Be incredibly difficult for anyone to navigate. But at the same time, for her to say that the audience only knows her based on what they see and not reality, honey, aren't you the one putting out what you want them to see and you're doing it for endless hours a day? It's not like you're getting a bad edit from a reality show producer. You are live streaming yourself all the time and you're streaming your kids unedited.
And she's probably playing into it too because that's when she gets the most views. It's one of those things where like that's what people will do sometimes. They'll get views doing a particular thing, so they keep doing that particular thing. If you're getting views because you have like really good commentary or something, then like obviously you keep doing that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're getting views because you're a fucking train wreck and you keep doing things that would contribute to the idea that you're a fucking train wreck, it's gonna make people think you're a fucking train wreck because you're gonna act like one.
Like if that's not reality, then I have to ask, are you being fake in everything that you post for all of these hours a day? Because that seems like that would be exhausting. But you know, she does have a valid point and probably the best advice she's given, and this might be the only time that I ever say that. Maybe next time you see her, just scroll up. All right. Let me just give you a heads up, the rest of this video is not going to be fun. As I've said before, I always try to have perspective to understand where a person might be coming from when they make decisions that seem unhinged to me. But with Ash, especially when it comes to her kids, it gets harder and harder to not just like lose all faith in humanity and rocket myself to outer space. Now, we don't have time to cover every single one of Ash's parenting missteps, and this will, you know, obviously be censored and nothing graphic, but let's just jump into this stuff.
Call me right now, Mom, can you buy me a new so-and-so? I'm gonna buy it, because I'm blessed to be able to do that. So yeah, you're right. My parenting isn't the same as yours. But remember, we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different ways of life. It's not easy, especially if you're learning how to be a mom all over again on your own.
Is Ash saying wise things, or is she just parroting Pinterest quotes about parenting? Because yeah, everyone will have different parenting styles and that's okay. But then like the example she uses to prove she's a good mom is buying material things for her.
Oh, we saw her ass.
kids, and she does this a lot. It's not a bad thing for kids to have what they need, or to
well, it's a nice thing to give your kids stuff, but you also need to teach them to be responsible with their spending. So
have nice things, but spoiling them should not be an indicator.
And it also sounds like she's not particularly responsible because she has a short-term job with this. It's probably not going to last a long time, especially since most of it is just begging on live stream. So her using like whatever money that she gets, it's probably not super productive to do.
Good parenting, right?
You probably should be saving it for the future, more than anything else.
Right, and this angry tone she often has when talking about her parenting and scolding people in the comments, like there's a real simple solution here. Stop posting your kids online. It really will solve a lot of things. It's just a suggestion. But obviously, as she said, she is an incredible mother because she buys her kids whatever they want. So let's see the evidence of that.
So, like, I know a lot of parents look at their kids' phones, like, search their stuff. I don't do none of that. You hear my little one yelling right now? She's arguing with some female. I don't know, she's cussing her out. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you shouldn't really. I mean, you should give your kids a level of trust. You don't need to look through their phone the whole time or anything. What?
I don't search my kids' stuff, which is probably not good, but I don't get in their business.
Damn, y'all over there having some fun, and it's like 3 in the morning. Everybody sleep where I'm at.
My youngest is awake. My wide awake, probably on like a 3-way call with her friends and her sister.
You don't believe in like curfews, bedtimes? No?
They go.
I thought that was a fucking woman talking. I'm gonna be real with you.
Go to sleep when they get sleepy.
That's obviously very stupid to do. You need to add structure to your kids' lives, especially,
Then they're gonna miss out on the whole day. And
she wakes up early still.
I bet.
Come here.
Bro, what's he doing?
I mean, as your kids get older, you can like potentially do this. Be like, you can go to bed whenever you want, but you have to get up for school. You know what I mean? So that's a way to like teach them a level of responsibility. But you need to obviously, give your kids structure.
Let's see. Come here. I need to ask you something. She said, I don't feel like it.
You let your daughter talk to you like that? It sound like you the daughter and they the mothers. Like they make their own rules and you just go by it.
Who's desperate for love? Because I'm not.
It's like you're the daughter and they're the mothers because they make the rules and you just go by it. Why does that young man seem to have more parenting intuition sense than this grown woman? And sure, yeah, it's easy to criticize someone's parenting when you've never been a parent yourself and this is just a moment in time and you don't know the actual difficulties of it. But in reality, rules, structure, and enforcing boundaries.
Well, listen, you can tell your kids they can go to bed whenever they want as long as they wake up for school. And especially if they're like a young adult, that's not a bad idea to do. You could be teaching them a valuable lesson, That being said, you have to have already laid the groundwork down. And I don't think that she's the type of person that has laid any groundwork down on her kids or anything. Maybe I'm wrong, but she doesn't read as the type of person that like really laid down some solid ground rules so their kids understand like boundaries pretty well and they'll make the right decisions. I don't think that she's equipped her kids to make the proper decisions. So this doesn't make any sense, or this doesn't work.
Discipline is what creates a safe, healthy, and stable environment for kids to grow and develop in, and posting them online all of the time is never going to bring that result. But why would they need bedtimes if they don't have beds?
Well, I don't live with my mom. But at your mom's house? No. When they stay over, this one sometimes sleeps with me or on the couch, that one sleeps on the couch, or she'll sleep on the mattress.
That's been one of the public's biggest repulses of late, and yes, it's concerning, but Ash always has something else demanding her attention, her audience.
Do you want me to buy another iPad? Am I gonna be able to get on, if I switch you phones, am I gonna be able to get on my TikTok? Like, to battle?
The thing is, like, in stream after stream, we see that Ash can't even have a full conversation with her daughter while—
The fuck is battling? Just begging for money?
Number 1, not live streaming, and number 2, getting distracted by the music and herself on camera. So, winner, your dinner. But her issues with her daughters started way before this.
She literally has been through, like, the bottom of her life. Like, I'm telling you, whenever we lived with her dad, I used to pull her by the hair because I was so mad at her. Like,
wow, what a great mom. Why even feel bold enough to admit that? That's insane.
I feel like he loved her more than he loved me, and so, like, I took my anger out on her. And she doesn't even, like, hate me for that. Like, she doesn't even remember that.
That's just not to flex. And
I don't even know if that's true. It's possible that that's not even true, but it's possible that's not even true and she's just saying that for like social media attention. But like, that's fucking insane. Why would you ever say that? You should be ashamed of yourself. Like, I would never, that's not a way that I want people to ever perceive me.
And if you're saying your daughter doesn't even remember this harm, number 1, how the f*** do you know that? And number 2, how the f*** You really know that? And 3, you just blasted it on the internet forever. So I'm guessing by now she maybe probably remembers. For a mother to be in competition with her daughter for affection. And this is a competition that the mother created in her own head, because the romantic love between spouses is entirely different than familial love between a parent and a child. Ash's uncontrollable anger
I hope so in this instance.
feeling overlooked will come up again. But in Ash's mind, she never harmed her daughters.
What I said was, I would get mad at her, yes. And I pulled her hair, yes. But I never abused her. I never hit my kids, you guys.
I don't know, man. Pulling your kid's hair is probably abusive. And I come from a little bit of an older school thought of like, sometimes maybe I understand physical punishment for your kid. I just, I don't know. I don't understand, like, hair pulling doesn't make sense to me. The only time I could see potentially hair pulling being justifiable is if you have like a kid that pulls another kid's hair and you do a light hair pulling so that you can teach them what that feels like. But that's like really productive and not like meant to be like aggressive, if that makes sense. But I don't know. Jesus fucking.
And the only reason I pulled her hair was because she ran from me and I tried to grab her. And instead, I grabbed her hair. That's why they don't listen to me. Because I don't spank my kids. I've never let my parents spank my kids either.
I feel like a spanking is probably not as bad as pulling their hair. Like spanking a kid's butt. Like, the reason that they usually spank the butt is because there's a lot of meat there. And so it's like, hey, don't do that. But you pull a kid's hair. And, that's fucking insane.
Most worlds, grabbing or yanking your child while they're running away is very much the definition of abuse in a lot of people's minds. Allegedly. Now, to be fair, I don't know the severity. I don't know how hard grabbing. We don't know. Wasn't there. But
that's why they don't listen to me, because I don't spank my kids. I've never let my parents spank my kids either. And when my parents tried to, I would tell them, no, you're not going to hit my kids.
I like how she's bragging about how good of a mom she is because her kids don't listen to her because she never spanked them. But she did pull their fucking hair, so I guess that's not abusive according to her. It's incredible.
I wouldn't even let their dad like, their dad used to try to hit them, and I would tell him, like, you're not gonna hit kids, like, no. So then he would get mad at me. So again, I did not pull her hair, like, literally, like, intentionally. And this was, she was little, so it was a long time ago. I don't care, y'all can sit there and call me what y'all want, but at the end of the day, my kids know I never abuse them. They never have bruises on them. Y'all probably are the ones who do that with your kids, to be honest. If anything, I bribe my kids with money, like, behave and I'll give you this. That's how I am as a parent.
So she tries to paint herself the hero for preventing other people from harming her daughters, but then also says that's why they don't listen to her, so she bribes them. Now, I'm not gonna make any direct accusations here. I wasn't there. None of us were, and I don't.
This creator is so weird because, like, obviously child abuse is like really bad and this woman is like a fucking horrible parent, but she feels the need to like constantly like play plausible. Well, I wasn't there, so we don't really know, but it's like, stop being so safe. You know what I mean? Just be like, yo, listen, like, this one's a fucking scumbag piece of dog shit. Unexcusably so.
Trust half the things that come out of Ash's mouth. But here's another side to this, another perspective for maybe more overall context. Ash says that she herself was harmed as a kid.
Like, my kids are not babies, you guys. Like, that's what y'all need to get out of y'all's head, bro. It's like, my kids are not babies right now. My kids are literally teenagers. And I'm trying to tell y'all, like, how it was back in the day.
Now, I'm not going to play the
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd have to know more about that, but yeah, it's unfortunately it was more acceptable to like beat your kids back in the day.
Audio for the rest of this clip to keep it sensitive for any of you watching, but she repeatedly then does say that she was harmed as a child all the time by her father, and that she would never basically spank her daughters because that happened to her as a child. You know, it's interesting that she says that her dad was the one to, you know, spank, which seems to be common, that the father was the disciplinarian, but it also is interesting that Ash now has a better relationship with her dad than her mom. You know, things like spanking was an incredibly common form of punishment, so her insistence on not doing that to her kids, if she's telling the truth, is at least an attempt, it looks like, at breaking a cycle. But the other question that I have is, did
okay. It's also possible that, like, you know, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but in the dynamics where like the father will punish or one person will punish, you could potentially build a resentment for the other parent not protecting you, right? There's a lot to be, you know, there's a lot going on there, but
she just allegedly replaced that type of potential abuse with other forms of harm, like hair pulling and psychological competition and neglect, exploitation for the entertainment of millions of strangers online, perhaps, doing this to the daughters. So she not only approves of, but encourages her daughters to live stream on TikTok while underage.
So how did you guys start? Did you start because your mom went?
No, I had Musical.ly.
Oh, period. Okay.
So then I had it ever since that.
Oh, period.
So you started TikTok because of Musical.ly?
Yeah.
So you do like little lip sync videos, little dances?
Yeah.
Okay. And you?
I got it after like 2020 or 2021.
And when did you start to notice like a difference in like, okay, I'm doing, like, there's a difference, like, I'm making a couple TikToks for fun and then actually doing social media
and things like that? Is it when your mom started going online? Oh, okay. So it's kind of like mom started it, you guys followed.
Someone asked me if I was Trevino's daughter, and I said yeah. And she was like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And so I took a picture with the girl.
These sounds like actual children. Why the fuck are you allowing your little kids to do social media content? That's so fucking bizarre. Especially live streaming. It's just that's just so stupid. It's like the worst thing you could do. Having them go online to be ridiculed by like potentially thousands of people. What a dumb idea. This woman's horrible.
She was like my age, so I took a picture with her. So yeah.
How does that feel?
It was scary because I was like away from my family because I wasn't with my mom. I was with my grandma, grandpa, and my sister, and I wasn't with them, so I was by myself shopping. And because it was her and her mom, so I got scared. But I ended up taking the picture, and then that's when my TikTok started blowing up more.
Really?
Because I only had like 50,000 followers. It wasn't that much compared to me now. So yeah.
Congrats on almost being at 1 million.
Thank you.
I am not jealous of my daughter. I told her, get that bag, baby. You are young. Get it right now while you can, and you will never have to work. Period. And I want that for her.
I love all
And
girls.
she's homeschooled, so hey, get it.
I want my kids to work. Hot take. I just want them to have a good job.
I am, but if y'all are not following my daughter, go ahead and go give her a follow, you guys. I think it's like 7 something.
And her daughter has almost 1 million followers. Holy shit. What is life anymore?
Yeah, well, the daughter is gonna have plenty of content. They're gonna get older. When they get older, they're gonna be able to be like, "Yeah, my mom was terrible," and people will feel bad for them. It's gonna be a whole fucking. We're engaging in like a whole network now of like generational social media wealth, almost. Not even the wealth part, but like nowadays, the lore is new. It's somewhat fresh. It's, online stuff is relatively new. Online creators are relatively like, it's a new concept, but like imagine that, next generation, you're going to be like the son of Ashley Trevino. You're going to be the son of Moist Critical or something. You know what I mean? It's going to be weird. It's going to be it's just going to be so bizarre. You're going to be the son of Ethan Klein. You're going to eat poop. I'm just kidding.
But once again, her parenting can't compare to anyone else's parenting.
You don't know me. I'm not like your baby mama. I'm not like any of these other
Hey,
people
don't talk about my mommy like that. I like my mommy.
who give their kids up and go choose the party life over my kids. My kids are 12, almost 13, and 16. I raised my kids since they were born.
Me too, dude.
My kids are teenagers now. You can't compare my parenting to y'all's parenting. I've been a parent since I was 19 years old. I'm 36.
So she raised her kids since they were born. I mean, one might say that's literally in the job description. Does that make her special? I mean, but then just a few minutes ago, we saw her say that she's learning how to be a mom. There's so many inconsistencies with statements that are just kind of baffling. Like she will say,
well, I mean, just to be, I guess, normal. I don't know. She's been raising them since she was a kid. She was probably really a child, and she's probably still learning to be a mom in some capacity because, she was very young, but
hey, whatever makes her look best in the moment. And I don't know, like maybe it's all just kind of like part of the content rage bait, like some people have been pointing out.
I had always that help, and so I'm learning to be a mom on my own and live on my own with my kids, just me and them.
Well, that doesn't sound like those are contradictory things. But
not easy. So just like a new mom, fresh mom is learning, I'm learning how to grow with my children because I've always had my parents. My mom literally helped me raise my oldest from the day she was born. And that's not no lie. Evie, I was the one with her, but my oldest, that's like my mom's other daughter. And I'm not even lying. Like I always seen her as a sister growing up. So that's why she kind of doesn't talk to me like I'm her mom because of the fact that I grew up with her like she was my little sister.
Like when Ash.
Oh, that's like a weird contradiction though. She started with like, my kids don't listen to me because I didn't hit them. But it sounds more like your kids don't listen to me because you didn't raise your own children. Your parents raised your children. Your parents didn't help you. Your parents raised your kids. So they look at you as more of a sister because you were not a good parent growing up. And I get it. You're only 19 at the time, but still. True. Surviving Ash Trevino documentary. I can't wait for it.
She was confronted by the fact that her daughter said she had lost friends over her mother's live streaming.
How do you handle discussions with friends who are aware of your mother's online persona? Because I know that ain't easy.
Yeah, so when they found out about my mom, some people didn't like it. And a lot of people don't like my mom going live, like getting clips or anything, because I guess they're embarrassed of it for being our friends and stuff.
Ash blames the people who posted clips.
Well, I mean, like, see, this is a conversation to have, but it's I don't like what your mom does for a living. Fundamentally, like, I don't really care if you like what my mom does for a living. You know what I mean? It's more of like, I guess how she does it. It's like, okay, it's fine if you're a creator, but like being a fucking public embarrassment is really more the problem. So,
clips of the live streams instead of what she said and did in the live streams make it make sense. You can't make it make sense.
I would say we lost a bit of friends.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
To be honest, there's nothing I can do about it.
But there is.
I mean, it sucks, yes. But
well, at this point, she's so ingrained in it that it's kind of what she does. I don't know. Does she have like a regular job or no?
At the end of the day, like, their friends...
I mean, I guess at least she's providing for her kids, supposedly. So that is what it is at that point.
...shouldn't be around, because if I'm live, they even know. If I'm live, like, don't come in my room. Don't come in, like, unless I'm live with them and I'm like, hey, we're going to do it live.
So you don't feel like any sort of guilt or sadness that they've lost friends because of it, and they've expressed that?
No, because it's not even for that reason, to be honest. I feel like some of their friends are jealous because of the life that they have.
Yeah, that must be it. Let's just take a poll, shall we? Do you think that Ash's daughters lost friends because they were jealous of them having Ash as a mom and the lifestyle they're living, or...
I mean, maybe some of them are. I don't know if she does really well financially, but maybe that's part of it. But I imagine it's more she's just a fucking embarrassment.
Do you think maybe it's something else? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Or maybe it's that they don't necessarily want their kids to like ever be live streamed, you know, especially, you know, like when I have kids, hopefully I'll still be doing this and I'll be down here, but I have no intention of making them the backdrop. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to be in an office and make it a little more professional, but it's another thing for her to just be kind of doing it around her kids, and it's just like everyday life kind of a thing. And it's like, you know, maybe they don't want their kids to be captured on that, just like visually captured. They want to have their kids maintain a sense of privacy. Social media shit can be also not great. Also, it might be a bad influence for them to do it in that way. Like, you don't want to be that kind of person, you know?
But wait, there's more.
They don't go to school anymore. They're homeschooled.
No.
She homeschools them? Wow. She's just not smart. So I can't imagine that's good.
Trevino, homeschool teacher.
You know, they can just get up and leave, take a trip. And honestly, I mean, there's reasons why I pulled Haley out of school, because she wasn't talking to certain friends anymore also.
Right. One more time for the people in the back. Ash.
You pulled her out of school because she wasn't talking to certain friends? That just kind of happens. What?
Trevino, homeschool teacher. Is that even legal? Well, unfortunately, yes. I am livid, and I quote.
Imagine everything is just like an act, and she's actually like a really good teacher. Could you imagine that? That'd be fucking insane. That'd be the craziest conspiracy of the year. Wow. I mean, listen, I mean, this would be the conspiracy for Ash Trevino, is she's actually a really good mom. She's actually super intelligent. She's super smart. She educates her kids really well, homeschool wise. But she plays this character where she's this horrible, terrible, really just horrifically bad parent from everything that I've seen. Really terrible, awful, just god-awful parent. Not thinking hair pulling is terrible to do to your kids. Wild. But she's doing this to create this persona of her being a horrible mom so that her kids can become content creators, and then they could do like a Surviving Ash Trevino as My Mom documentary, and then them having like a generational job that just completely rides off the coattails of their mother. You know what I mean? Like, that would be a 10,000 IQ play. That would be a 10,000 IQ play from her. I guess we'll never know. If she's that smart, she'll never reveal it. But that would be insane. That would be fucking wild.
The courts have determined that Texas homeschools are private schools for the purpose of compulsory attendance. Therefore, homeschools are not regulated, do not require teacher certification or third-party curriculum approval, and are exempt from compulsory attendance laws. Are you kidding me? You don't need a certification of any kind whatsoever? Not even like an hour-long webinar, perhaps? Quote, absolutely not. There is no requirement to be a certified teacher or hold any other type of certification or degree to homeschool in Texas. Any parent can homeschool their children. Son of a bitch, mother. This show, I just as a of the Texas and the and what the we doing in these bitches, and we're getting the in the and I'm so tired of the Sorry, I got a little lost in the moment. I just have one question. Article. Does any parent also apply to Ash Trevino? I'm just asking for a friend.
Probably.
Also, hold on a second.
What's the logic? As long as your kids can pass whatever, you know, tests they need to pass, they're fine.
When was she homeschooling them? Because she was working a 9 to 5 at the dental office and then on TikTok all night, right?
Yeah, I did have a 9 to 5. And was this happening anyway? It was still happening, yes. I've worked at my last job that I had. I worked there for 6.5 years. Up until December 23rd of this past December 2024, I got fired. And I just put that out there.
Was it because of the social media?
Literally on TikTok, because people were like, you don't know how to work, you don't have a job, you don't have this, you don't have that. Well, why do y'all think I wasn't coming on TikTok till 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, my time? I had a 9 to 5. I worked.
Your boss saw your...
This is the nature of Ash Trevino. The more
I mean, I hate to say it, but if she was working a 9 to 5 and then she was getting off and streaming like all night, I mean, the work ethic might be there, honestly. Not to play devil's advocate, but
you find out, the less you know and the more questions you have. This isn't a rabbit hole. The story of Ash Trevino is a black hole. Ash makes a lot of reference to her.
Why? Are you saying it's bad? Huh? I think black holes are amazing. White holes are the bad holes.
Parents and her kids going and staying at their grandparents' house. And for me, this makes me question who these people are that raised her, but I know that's not entirely fair, but the thing is...
Well, she obviously didn't really raise her own kids. Or else they wouldn't see her as a sister.
She wasn't created in a vacuum. And like she admitted about her jealousy towards her daughter, Ash had issues way before her social media days.
Until today, like my mom, you know, she doesn't talk to me right now. And I was like, I don't know how to feel. Like my mom was my best friend, you know, like whenever I was sick, I'd be like, Mom, what do I do? You know, and I can't call her right now because this social media stuff has ruined my relationship with my family. And I'm not even lying.
Damn.
And that's why he was like, what are you doing for Christmas? I said, I'm gonna be alone. Like my kids are gonna be with my family. I'm gonna be alone. Like my mom was my best friend. Like she was in my delivery room for both of my kids. Like I've never had this much struggle with my mom, like since social media took over, you know?
We will be getting...
I don't know how much I believe that. I just don't think I believe that.
Get into the context of this a bit later, but this dynamic
I feel like that's just like some weird victim complex she's pushing.
An interesting one. You know, the best friend dynamic between mother and daughter is one that Ash tries to emulate with her own daughters. Now, here is Ash's mother, who is cutting her off when Ash is acting a fool and Ash gets offended. The cycle is cycling, and Ash's father is the one who forgives her. So it points to Ash's complicated relationship with her daughters, where it looks as, you know, like she wants to be seen as their friend and their peer, but also competes with them. And now I'm sure she'll start competing even more as the daughters are doing their own live streams. And the thing is, maybe especially the competition is there when it comes to competing for the attention of men. It's also just so rich how Ash blames social media for ruining her relationship with her family. Like social media itself is a living, breathing entity that has its own agenda and that she has absolutely no fault or accountability for any of it.
I think that maybe sometimes she can exploit situations to get views.
I'm gonna be real, yeah.
Because that's the game. But that's her kid.
No, not with them.
She just said yes. But have you done that in the past? Have you taken a situation and used it for views regarding kids? Would you feel like maybe she has done that ever?
Yeah, but not me and my sister. You've taken her when she was sick and you were begging for money.
When?
You said send the Galaxy to know about my baby girl's health when I was in the hospital.
Oh, that's because, yeah, that was like a while back.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Well, I guess she's no worse than those parents that have those like horrifically, I hate to say, but like horrifically disabled kids that there's probably a moral conversation to have there. Me personally, I don't know if I'd want to live like that. But that go live on TikTok and they beg for money for their kid. I don't know, man. It's just, what kind of fucking life is that, you know?
But you weren't even in the hospital.
Yeah, but I still didn't like that. But you wanted my information out for a Galaxy.
So what do her daughters think about all this TikTok clout?
I feel like...
How much is a Galaxy? Is it a lot?
I'd rather go back to my old life. Yeah, we have money and... I mean... I don't like being online publicly. Like,
I understand that.
Yeah.
Especially you're so young.
Yeah. And growing up, that's why I'm homeschooled too. In the beginning of school, people noticed my mom, and I got the tears.
I mean, I don't know what specifically Ash Trevino does, but I mean, if she wanted to start shifting her content into a different direction, she literally could do that. Like if she wanted to be like, okay, you know what? Let me shift the way I do my online content to potentially be less intrusive, you know? She could potentially do that if she really wanted to.
A lot of stairs. And so if I could, I honestly would go back to my old life, to being a nobody to people, because that's when I was more confident, didn't care how I look. And now since I'm publicly, I've cared more about how I look, how I go out and stuff.
Well, I think that about covers it. Ash's TikTok career has robbed her own daughters of their confidence, and Ash doesn't seem to care one bit, does she? Let that sink in. Like, I don't even need to address the fact that her daughters are also exposed to things like adult toys at this point, but here's Ash in her own words. There's not gonna be like visuals or it happening, but here's her kind of defending when she got called out for that.
And why do people support you when you have adult toys in front of your minor kids?
Wait, what? I'm not understanding. What does that mean? Is she like advertising Adam and Eve in front of her kids? Like, I'm not understanding what that means. You know, because when I was a kid, I knew what an adult toy was, but I didn't like... You know, it was just like, hey, I know what that is. You know what I mean? Like, you're a fucking kid. Kids know. They know, but it's not like a... My mom didn't tell me about them. I just kind of learned about them on the internet.
Do they fuck with them? They still touch them. What should we call
They
it?
don't touch that
Then why they say, oh, what should we call this?
Does it matter, Fonzie? Like, to be honest, my kids are not babies.
Now, if you have a horrible sinking feeling in your gut,
I'm confused of the context. What is the context behind the kids knowing what dildos are? You know, like, did she leave it out one time on accident? She's like, yeah, it's a dildo. Sorry, kids. Like, I don't know the context here.
The only one.
You were on TikTok live while someone was getting in the backseat of your car. Why did you keep filming?
Okay, so with that, she knew I was on live.
That's wow, well, incredible. She probably did it because it got her attention. Let's be fucking real. Chat.
In a twist that surprises no one in stories like this, Trevino's viewers took action and informed CPS about her online behavior.
And y'all are really trying to get my kids taken from me, and it's not gonna happen. Do you know how many CPS cases I've had on me in the last 4 months, and I still have custody of my kids? Like, you do understand when you call CPS, you have to have actual proof that they're in an unfit condition, right? Like, you really have to have proof that my kids are really being not taken care of. You do understand that, right? For those of y'all that love to call CPS on me, y'all do understand. You have to have proof that my kids are in harm's way, my kids are this, my kids are that, my kids. Y'all really have to have proof.
Isn't Ash the one providing the proof? And correct me if I'm wrong, but if there was absolutely nothing going on, would CPS continue to open cases?
My kids.
Well, they would they open them multiple times?
Have never been taken away from me. My kids have always been with me. And
well, I don't know. It's one of those things where they kind of have to respond to something, even if there may not necessarily be something there. There might be validity. I mean, it's like debating on what does it mean to have a validity to it. But
a lot of y'all spread rumors and say that CPS took my kids from me. Baby, CPS has never taken my kids. Yes, I've had like 20 CPS cases. They dismissed them all. Because you know why? My kids are in good hands. My kids are taken care of. My kids do not need, they don't want for nothing.
Listen, I'm not in that house. Thank God. So there's only so much that we can even know. But my question is, if she has legitimately caught 20 CPS cases and nothing has come of it, is that actual proof that there's nothing going on to the severity that CPS would step in? Or
maybe. I mean, I imagine they would do something about it if there was actually a case, but who do I know?
Or is this potentially just an underscoring of the depth at which CPS is severely underfunded, understaffed, and unable to effectively process all of the valid cases? Like, I'm just asking questions.
I mean, maybe. I would imagine that if they're going to show up, that they would feel like they would have to do something. But, you know, I don't know.
My kids, I came home.
Her being a shit mom doesn't mean that she's the type of mom that would need, like, CPS called on her. So I don't really know, but... Okay.
Today with 3 gifts for my kids, and I gave it to them already, and it was all Hello Kitty stuff. My kids get stuff every day.
I don't think you need to give your kids stuff every day. It's not that's not the mark of a good parent. Just to be clear.
I want to talk about my kids not having a bed. Y'all want to talk about my kids not having this. You know what? At the end of the day, my kids are fixing up their room right now. Because remember, I told y'all it was a junk room because they moved out. My kids are back home for good, you guys, and y'all can't take that from me.
I'm not gonna lie, in my personal opinion, the constant deflection of buying her daughters whatever they want as a means to distract from any potentially valid concerns of harm in any way of her daughters is deeply alarming.
So, like, I try to tell everybody, but of course, you know, I'm always going to be the villain in their book. You know, they've already got this persona that they have of me, and that's just who I am to them. So, honestly, I've raised my kids since they were born, never left their side. Till this day, still have not left their side.
But people would say that they're with their grandparents majority of the time.
Well, the little one does live with me, but recently she went back for a bit. I've never been the one to be like, no, you can't go to their house, you know. If that's where they feel more comfortable at, then why not, you know? But I still legally have custody of my kids. I've never lost custody.
Wait, so CPS didn't take her kids, and she's always had her kids, but they moved out, and now they're back? Like, so where did they go? But then she shares that sometimes she tells her kids not to come home.
Right now, I don't have my kids. Of course, y'all can hear it's quiet. You know, coming home and, like, seeing this empty house, it's sad, you know? Like, it brings me back to when I didn't have them. Right now, I don't have them for me because I told them to go back right now. They were not taken from me. I literally, because I know there's going to be rumors circulating, oh, her kids got taken from her. No, my kids did not get.
Well, it's a little strange that you're telling your kids to stay at their grandparents' house and you're openly admitting it. That's just weird. Just because they weren't formally taken from you doesn't mean that I mean, I don't know. It sounds like she's a really shitty mom. And, like, you don't even think you're fit to have your own kids around you. That's incredibly concerning. Okay. What do you say, Ash?
Anna texted me and was like, Mom, we're going to go back. I said, no, don't come back right now.
No, I'm torn on this one because...
Was she having sex? I don't understand.
Part of me hopes that, you know, being with her grandparents, if that's where they are, and away from the chaos of Ash's home is very likely better for the girls. At the same time, to have your mother tell you not to come home, for what? Is the question.
Literally, CPS just got involved back in, I want to say, September. And they were getting so many calls that...
Because of TikTok Live, you would
say? Yes. And I was tired of it. So I told my mom, you know what? Keep them until this goes away.
Is it because of...
Oh. That actually might be... I mean, that's probably the only good response that you could possibly hear from that. Like, she was like, you know, they're just, like, harassing me on there to bully me. And which there might be a level of truth to that, by the way. You know, how social media works. And so she's like, you know what, just keep the kids there to make things easier while everything dials down. That's probably the only reason I'd be like, okay, that could be valid.
Ash's emotional state, or is it because she can live stream and broadcast about her daughter's lives more without them around? One can only guess at this point. But let's also remember everyone is human, and even though Ash said she's tough, even Ash seems to reach a breaking point.
I am 2025 tomorrow starts, and it's literally going to be me and the girls, me and the girls, me and the girls. This year I've had so many CPS cases that I'm tired of dealing with the system. Like, I'm really tired of dealing with the system. So, and I'm tired of putting them through that, you know? This year's me and my family and my kids and my boyfriend.
I can't stress this enough. Unless the CPS calls are coming from inside of the house, the easiest way to stop the cases is to stop talking about and featuring her daughters in her content.
No, she's seen
that statement by itself is obviously unfair, but considering the context of her talking about how she's not a great parent, that's probably the more primary focus of what you need to do. Stop almost bragging about how you're a shitty parent.
that video that guy posted saying that he has a successful open case on me. She's like, Mom, they opened another case. I said, don't worry about it, bro. Like, they're going to continue to keep opening cases and opening cases and opening cases. And you know what? God continues to close the cases. He continues to close the cases. I don't fear no man, nobody but God. He's the only person I fear. So you want to try and do what you
W God or L God? What do we know for in this instance specifically?
you're gonna do? Go for it, baby boy. Well, not baby boy. You're an old man. Go for it, old man.
Listen, I'm speculating here, but I can't help but feel how heartbreaking it might be for her teenage daughter to come home worried about CPS and the future of her family. And her mother's response is to rage bait strangers on the internet.
The little one actually is mine 100%. I raised her since she was born. She's just a mama's girl. The little one is a mama's girl. But
This whole I raised her since she was born thing is just like so bizarre to me. Stop it. Stop saying that.
the oldest one is a grandma and grandpa's girl. So my oldest one currently stays with my parents, yes. My little one stays with me 100%.
That actually makes perfect sense to me. Like when she was less fit to be a mother, which was when she was younger, those kids were raised by her parents. But now that she's older and she's probably more capable of a parent, she's able to more effectively raise her kid. That makes sense to me. And so her younger kid actually likes her more.
They still see each other. They talk to each other every day. I still go to my mom's. My oldest one comes here, steals my food, and she'll take it to my mom's. And I'm like, I just bought groceries, bro.
Considering Ash was a teen parent, I can understand why the grandparents would step in and help with the older daughter and why that would create a strong bond between them. But eventually, as the parent grows out of being a teen, I would maybe think that the goal would be family unification. Maybe, I don't know. Let me know.
Sure, I suppose.
This one is more like my sister than my daughter. And the little one stayed with us. Like, the little one's always been ours. But the oldest one has always been my parents.
There again seems to be this fostering of either potential competition between the girls, the daughters, like of who belongs to who gets what kind of love and from whom, but also from Ash's.
Well, this perspective makes sense though. Like it kind of makes sense. Some of the things that she's saying are like normal, I suppose. Not everything is something that's like contentious, In this instance, like, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me that this is how the dynamic has worked itself out 100%.
Perspective, how she wants to be seen by each girl. To say her oldest daughter is more like her sister looks, at best, like a desperate attempt at chasing youth, or at worst, an excuse for extremely poor parenting choices. But
I don't know. I think you're... No, I don't know. I just disagree with that one. I don't think you really know what you're talking about on that one.
The Trevino trash train keeps it chugging right to Thanksgiving.
There's plenty of things to criticize her on. You don't have to kind of be out of touch on that one. Again, it's more likely that she was younger on her first kid, so their parents raised that kid, and now she was able to raise the other one more effectively. So, I think that's more likely, honestly, but okay.
2024, you may know where this is going. So to keep this easy, someone uploaded a timeline of events of Ash's live stream on the holiday. So let's walk through the main points of this. According to the post, Ash takes her kids to El Paso to a friend's house. She calls this friend Tia, but she met this person on TikTok. Sounds kind of like when she called Isaiah daddy. Now, while she's live streaming, a viewer finds her location and
well, that's like a Hispanic thing, I think, right? They just call everybody aunt or uncle. Isn't that like a Hispanic thing? It's not a bad thing. I'm just
goes up to meet Ash. That's all sorts of weird, by the way. That is so dangerous. Don't do that. But Ash is excited about.
Wait, what's dangerous?
Isaiah daddy through the main points. Someone uploaded a timeline of events of Ash's live stream on the holiday. So let's walk through the main points of this. According to the post, Ash takes her kids to El Paso to a friend's house. Okay. She calls this friend Tia, but she met this person on TikTok. Sounds kind of like when she called Isaiah daddy.
All right, well, so far it's not really a big deal as long as she's vetted them correctly.
Now, while she's live streaming, a viewer finds her location and shows up to meet Ash. That's all sorts of weird, by the way. That is so dangerous. Don't do that.
You shouldn't be doing that. I agree with that. Sorry, I must have misheard something.
But Ash is excited about this and then convinces the adults to go bar hopping while leaving the kids behind. Alone at the friend's house in a new city on Thanksgiving. Ash continues.
Well, can she trust the person? Because, I mean, I don't necessarily care too much about that then.
Streaming, so another TikToker named Mariposa who has beef with Ash shows up and they allegedly get into an actual physical fight.
And I went, bro, I fucking grabbed her hair, boom, snatched that bitch. Bro, tell me why her hair feels like ass, bro. I literally grabbed it and it ripped off. Like, there was no getting this girl. Like, no getting her. So I like go.
This seems like maybe this person is the bad guy here.
Like this to swing and her I'm like, ready and her the guards, the people that check your ID there, the bodyguards, they like grab me, they're like, no.
Somehow Ash escapes and the group gets back to the friend's house to find the younger daughter sick with a fever and the older daughter nowhere to be found. Then somehow the friend's ex comes over and allegedly physically harms Ash's friend in front of everyone.
My ex is here. And he won't get out of my house. Go into the use the restroom first? Probably, I don't know.
And then the live stream stops and you thought your family Thanksgiving was up. This is what, like the third time we've seen Ash and her daughters switch expected roles where Ash
That one seems much more like I don't think that she necessarily acted inappropriately there, given the context. She went to meet up with somebody so she made a friend online. I don't really care that they I met my wife online, so I don't care. I don't know to what degree they were friends, how much she could trust her, but let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she could trust her. Some live fan met up with her. Like, she just found her. She's like, oh, you're here, so I'm going to go find you. And then they went drinking together. I think the problem with that is the irresponsible part is to not encourage the behavior of trying to seek you out and find you. So that's irresponsible. But if you could trust the other person to leave them with your kid, I don't really care. And then it gets, really, I guess, problematic when somebody else goes and tries to find her and then tries to fight her. I mean, that's really the inappropriate party there, no? So
acts like an unruly teenager and the daughters are the ones behaving more maturely. This seems to me like textbook parentification. As defined by Psychology Today, quote, parentification is a role reversal in families in which the child acts as the parent in the family system. For instance, emotional parentification can take the form of a child mediating between family members, acting as a parent's therapist, or being privy to their parents' adult problems, such as a single parent's dating struggles or financial woes. Allegedly, we saw it when Ash said the older daughter would help her raise the baby. We saw it when she said her daughter was like a sister to her.
Would this be an example of parentification? I don't know if that's true, but okay, whatever.
We saw it with the lack of discipline and respect in Ash's household. It's kind of no wonder that the older daughter gets out of the house. There's no reason for her to even stay, seemingly no authority for her to answer to. And, the younger daughter has no one to take care of her when she is literally physically ill. It feels almost as if Ash is attempting to recreate her troubled youth, whether she realizes or not, by stealing her daughter's own childhoods.
Did I miss something? I feel like this is a lot of energy for something where it shouldn't necessarily be applied to this. I feel like the energy is super high for this here. All over, I mean, the ex came over and started hitting her or whatever, which is terrible, but I'm not understanding. In this specific moment, feels almost over exaggerated.
Which then brings us to Santos.
It's my new name, cool name. You wanna know how I smell? I'm Santos. He never smell well.
Oh, sorry, hun. She can't be bothered to help you when you're sick. She's singing along to Santos' song. But who is Santos? Well, he's a young man who is a club promoter and TikToker and does live streams like Ash. And
what is he, younger?
He's the guy I was referring to in the very, very beginning of the doc when I asked you to close your eyes, take a deep breath.
The older daughter left without telling people, and the youngest was left alone with a fever. Oh, okay. But were they left alone or left alone with that, the friend that could take care of them? Maybe I'm misunderstanding part of this.
Then picture this, because Ash first learned about Santos because her daughter had a little internet celebrity crush on him.
How do you feel that your mom stole your crush?
How do you feel about being bald? Why would you ask her that? Why would you ask her that?
Aw, so cute. A little teenage crush, sharing it with your mom. That's so sweet and innocent and normal. But what's not sweet and innocent and normal is for your mom to see your internet celebrity crush, pursue him, and then record one of the most repulsive songs in the internet history with him. Because
the last part's really gross. The first part I don't necessarily care about. I don't think the daughter had a crush on this guy. Doesn't mean the mom can't have a crush on the guy. If she went after the guy explicitly to fuck with the kid, I guess that would be a problem. But if like he's age appropriate for the mom but not age appropriate for the daughter, I don't see why the mom would have to like not necessarily seek that out. So I don't know. But the whole song thing is definitely just, I mean, it's just inappropriate in general.
That song she was jamming out to was just that. It's called New New by an artist named Miss Gold, featuring Santos and everyone's favorite classy lady, Trevino, and I hate that I know this.
It's my new in a bit, cool in a bit. You wanna know how I smell? I'm Santos. He never smell well.
Let's take a look at the lyrics, shall we? Now, I can't play the actual song for, like all of the reasons, so let's have a dramatic reading.
He's 19, what the fuck? What is up with this fucking woman? She's a weirdo.
It smell like...
Damn, she's 19? Why is she... yeah, she's a fucking... I mean, there's nothing illegal about it, but I just find it to just be kind of pathetic to be talking to somebody that much younger than you.
New in this...
Whether you're a boy or a girl.
Kulu in this bitch. He can't have one bitch. He want my new. I'm that bitch. I ain't taking no dick. Unless it's this big. You want to know how it smell? Ask Santos. He know it smell well. I want new. If I never tell. I want new. I want new.
Saying that your pussy smells well implies that the vagina has the ability to smell. Like, and what I mean is like inhale to absorb a smell. Does that make sense? That's that's the implication there, right? Because if you smell well, that means that you have the ability to smell things well. If you smell good, that means that you have a smell on you that is good. So that means that your vagina, in this case, has the ability and capacity to sniff things and be able to distinctively understand and interpret those smells. And for you to go, interesting. So
I want new. I want new. I got 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 new. Oh, but don't you worry, friends. There's more. I seen his pee-pee. He seen the new. I got new. I got... I literally feel my soul trying to leave my body. I can't read any more of this garbage. Listen, it doesn't take a Rhodes Scholar to figure out that new means Ash's lady bits. And, well, it's a song about what hers smell like, and Santos' olfactory senses are apparently familiar with said stank.
Yeah, you are not a stank. Do not ever stank. You're a nobody to us.
But for real, don't talk about gold, okay? Just leave it off of social media.
No, you're not. You're like, wait for your clothes. Okay, we're done. We're done.
Not her daughter saying you're closer to my sister's age than my mom's. Like, I'm just... But let's get back to it. Before the song, Ash and Santos start doing TikTok lives together. It always starts that way, and talking on the phone. Santos lives in LA, but thanks to Ash's experience with dating inmates, she's no stranger to long-distance romance, so she knows how to keep it interesting. There's actually a particularly viral clip where Ash flashes Santos, and the 13.4 thousand people watching the live stream. Yes, my friends, the ladies'
That's a lot of people to watch the live stream, dude. Fuck.
pepperones have entered the chat.
Yo, it's y'all go to my Instagram right now. I'm literally seeing beautifulness. Oh my God.
Oh, look, friends, there it went. My last shred of faith in humanity. I hate it here. Remember when she said that she got fired in December of 2024? Well, it was because of this moment, because of the pepperonis have been removed from the pie.
Up until December 23rd of this past December 2024.
How do they look, at least? Do they look decent? Let's see. Ash Trevino. Trevino's boobs. What the hell? Ash Trevino. Dude, what is happening? Boobs. Let's see if I can see them, just for me personally. What the fuck? Crazy. She doesn't really show anything. Does she show them? It's not showing up for me. I'm not able to see her tits. Wait, let's see if they're in this one. Alright, turn safe search off. Oh, you can only see like a little bit of nip. You see like part of the areola. What? I'm fucking curious. It's not that big of a deal. I was curious. Relax, dude. You guys act like I did something wrong here. I looked at her fucking tits. I'm a fucking man. I'm curious. She's a grown woman. Chill the fuck out. Okay? And, she didn't really show us anything that was particularly interesting to see, if I'm being absolutely real with you. But I will delete the search history just to be fucking safe. You know what I'm saying, dude? But all right, relax. You guys are going crazy.
I got fired.
Fired?
Yes.
For what?
The trolls from
Boobies.
TikTok literally sent my owner a video of me showing my nip. Yes. So they fired me.
Your boss saw your nip.
Literally. And then somebody took a picture of me at my desk and posted it all over TikTok. One of the patients did.
Wait, where did you work?
I worked at a dental office in Arlington, Texas.
How did that even happen?
What?
The slip.
I was drunk on live with Santos. Yes. Literally.
Who's this
I'm gonna go
person
walk
that
a
keeps
shame now.
interviewing
Yeah.
you?
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed for that.
And remember how Ash said her mom won't talk to her because of social media? Well, I actually cut out part of that clip. Here's the rest of it.
My mom was my best friend. Like, she was in my delivery room for both of my kids. Like, I've never had this much struggle with my mom, like, since social media took over, you know? And I know, like, what ruined it was whenever I flashed my, you know? And it's like, my dad forgave me. My dad's my best friend. But it's like, my mom, she's, like, embarrassed. And so, like, when people are like, oh, is that your daughter? She's like, no, that's not my daughter. Like, it's a different type of abandonment.
These antics from both Ash and Santos at this point are just like ick, cue Ash gagging, but like for real.
Here they come.
To put it as lightly as I can. And I just want to be clear that there's nothing wrong with a woman who, who has kids, who's, whatever age, being a sensual person or having a romantic relationship. And Santos also has a daughter, by the way. So his actions are setting an example for his daughter too. But the way they are both going about this is, at best, very...
Are they still dating? What the fuck?
Ick. Plus, with Ash being obviously older than Santos, it raises a lot of red flags for a lot of people. Eventually, Santos flies to Texas to meet Ash in person.
Santos finally arrives to Dallas and Ashley gets scared to meet Santos.
Look, I'm getting closer and closer to you. I already know you're gonna fall in love with me.
He's kind of acting like this is a rom-com, but it feels like a psychological horror movie.
Guys, I don't know if I'm happy or nervous, to be honest. Like, I can't even tell you what I'm feeling.
And then they finally meet on person. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if the daughter did have this crush on him and then he shows up at the house, but he's showing up there for your mom and they're live streaming it. Again, daughters' brains aren't fully developed. I'm just gonna leave that there. But yeah, they live stream it, just to stay on brand. So that night they go to a club and both live stream the entire painfully awkward night. I'm selecting my words very heavily right now. But they keep hanging out and it seems like their relationship is blossoming.
Am I gonna get that PS5?
You are gonna get the PS5 and anything else you want.
Okay, I'm so happy.
How many games do you want?
Damn. This 19-year-old child is hanging on the back of her like he doesn't have a fucking job at Target, asking his boyfriend, asking his girlfriend to buy him a goddamn PS5 right now, and she's doing it for him. I wonder why. I wonder why he's fucking her. I wonder why he smelled her new.
Hey, what game that we not got? The GTA 6 coming out right now? GTA 6? Black Ops 6?
What other games?
What other game? 2K, can I get 2K too?
Oh my god.
Sorry, I think I left my body for a moment. Is he using her for money? For clout? How is this attractive to her when he's literally clinging to her like a tiny baby and asking for presents? Isn't that her number one parenting hack, giving her kids presents? So now is she parenting her boyfriend?
Well, no, I think that's a little weird. I think that she shows her love through buying things. Whether that's appropriate or not is a different conversation. But I don't think that she's having some kind of weird, incestuous relationship with this guy. I don't know. I don't think that there's some kind of daddy-daughter or mommy-son thing going on here. I think that insinuation is a little bit crazy, just to be clear.
Or whatever this is, I'm not the only one who got the ick from this. Lots of people started questioning the status of the relationship, so of course Ash had to defend it.
I've already seen his pee-pee, and he's already seen my nunu. Okay.
If you're an adult, you could say penis and vagina.
Yeah, which brings us to that f***ing song.
I've seen his pee-pee.
Although I guess you gotta be different on the internet.
No. Wanna know how it smells? Santos, he must smell well.
I got new. I got new. I got new. I got new. No.
Yeah, that's all right. It's a mid-tier jungler.
They recorded it in December of 2024, and here's a fun little BTS for those of you interested in high-quality music industry content.
So we're not adding the part about the inmates? Yeah, we're not adding the part about the inmates.
What did she add to it?
Those of you interested in high-quality music industry content.
So we're not adding the part about the inmates? Yeah, we're not adding the part about the inmates.
I don't know what that means.
You can't make
what's
this
happening.
like honestly, I have invested so much of my life into her story that I'll never get back. So I kind of low-key want to know what that part was about the inmate thing that they were gonna write. Maybe she'll give it to us as a little present.
You are gonna get the PS5 and anything else you want.
Only by the time Christmas rolled around, Ash got a very different kind of present.
Is she pregnant again or something? Or did she get like a yeast infection or something?
Christmas 2024, a time for family to be together and for Ash and Santos to TikTok live themselves partying at Ash's house and getting wasted. So our handy dandy viewers step in again and call the police. Yeah, and the police get so many calls that they actually go over there. Santos allegedly gives the police a fake ID, which of course they take away. And guess what they figure out, friends? Baby boy Santos is only 19 years old, the exact age Ash was when she had her first daughter.
Damn, she's keeping the system going there, I guess.
Interesting.
Yes. So you know, this gentleman is 19 years old. Okay, so.
But he's not drinking.
I had a reason to be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's 19.
He's probably drinking. Let's be fucking real.
10 years old. Nobody's going to jail. You need to be a little more aware of who's coming to your house.
Can you please tell them to quit harassing my dad?
No.
Why does this not seem like a surprise to you? Like when you've been clubbing together, or are you just focusing on lying?
I mean, like, I don't really care that he's drinking at 19. You're a legal adult, so like whatever. But you know, you should. You know what you're doing, Ashley.
Say he hasn't been drinking.
Don't you worry about it, on TikTok.
No, but they're on the phone. Fuck you.
Here's your ID.
Open up your
Here's your ID back.
Thank you.
That's what happens when you're a fucking idiot and like film yourself technically committing a crime.
A little more aware who you got coming here.
Especially like whose house was it? Because that person could be held responsible for that.
Here's the thing. According to Ash, for whatever that's worth, Santos allegedly told her that he was 22. Allegedly, she said, yeah.
But at the beginning, I never knew Santos was 19. I thought he was 20.
This doesn't make any sense. Isn't he a social media person? Wouldn't she be able to just look up his name? Doesn't even make sense, right? Like, isn't Santos a social media guy?
4. When he showed me the military ID that he had on him, it said 24. The birthday was 2000. So therefore, I never knew Santos' real age.
No.
Oh, so she knew the. I mean, that was my speculation. She probably knew the ID was fake, and she's like, "Oh, well, it says 24. I don't care."
Remember when we talked about not giving other people's teenagers the drink? Remember when we talked about how her patterns of behavior feeling kind of atory? Now I'm gonna be real. I hate this. If Ash was younger.
Well, I don't know if it's predatory. You relax there a little bit, but okay.
You know, I would hate it less, but she's 36 years old, heavily implying that she slept with someone 19 to the point of writing a song about it.
You wanna?
Yeah, it's pathetic, but it's not like illegal and predatory. You'd have to show a lot for predatory. I don't think that we should be. That's the problem with like speculating to this degree. It can become very toxic.
I smell. And Santos, he knows smell well.
To be completely fair to the point that it hurts me, and we have to say this, as far as the law is concerned, Santos is a legal adult and he can do as he wants.
Yeah, I think that she's a loser, but I don't think that it's doubtful that he's going to develop a trauma from this, right? I don't think that there's predatory anything's going on here. That's a little exaggeratory, but
a 17-year age gap for a teenager in what she's saying they were doing, in my opinion, is disgusting. Makes the clip of her talking about buying him video games and talking in a baby voice all the more disturbing. And the thing is, the responsibility here lies on Ash, the significantly older adult.
What are you trying to what are you trying to imply with the baby voice that you're trying to imply that like they have some kind of weird fucking fetish? I just feel like that's how you talk when you're in a relationship. It can be cringe, but we don't have to be fucking crazy about it.
But you know, in what she would probably describe as a Christmas miracle, the cops leave after issuing a warning and Santos is literally crying. And I don't even care if it has something to do with, like his alleged fake ID being taken away, which is, what was being said, because, that would shut down his promoter business that he's literally not even old enough to have because he's not 21.
Fuck, I can't even get walls right now, bro.
Yeah.
Stop. I got you. I told you that. I told you I got you. I got you. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Stop. I got you. Stop.
I don't even care if that's the reason. I just see this dude crying at this point. And it's just like, she is the reason. Again, his prefrontal cortex is still under construction. So the responsibility to not allegedly exploit someone or allegedly prey on someone with, this big 17-year.
Chill out. Oh my God. It's like, we can't just have fun making fun of this really bad person without it going into like unnecessarily predatory direction. Like, chill out. Oh my God. You don't have to exaggerate so much. It's insane. Jesus Christ.
gap is on the grown ass adult in the room. And the thing is, when I see literally like minors walk up, you know, and take selfies with her, like it's very easy to be concerned that one of them might fall in this trap, and maybe they won't be public figures like Santos and won't have the perceived protection that Santos does, you know, because he's a public figure and live streaming and people are maybe paying more attention to what could be happening. If someone's not a streamer, you know, and they're not in the public eye, they could get swept up and like nobody knows. Santos isn't the only young man Ashley has orbiting around her hemisphere. So, you know, keep in mind that Ash Trevino has racked up over 1 million followers on TikTok, you know, before her first account was, you know, restricted from going live. Her backup account was also almost at 1 million. Her streams have tens of thousands of viewers. Sometimes over 100,000 people are tuned in to watch her. Why? Fuck if I know, but these young male TikTokers,
damn, I guess she's fucking successful.
See what Santos is doing and they want some of that clout.
Okay, maybe. Listen, I don't really care if a 20-year-old guy wants to fuck a fucking 36-year-old woman. I would too if I was that age. I don't really give a shit.
Yes, Ash Trevino has real clout. Think about that. Jeffree Star is smelling it.
Okay, well, you may have broken records, but you ain't doing shit now.
Bro, you don't got no food stand like me. You don't got, bro, I be doing everything.
What'd you say you're on food stamps? That's not my problem. Let's go, you guys. 13 seconds left. That sounds like a you problem, sweetie.
That's
okay.
exactly what he said. He said
I was homeless 10 years ago. I ain't worried about nobody. I ain't worried about nobody, bitch.
No comment. Even Perez Hilton is taking a whiff and smelling it. I'd just roll the clip.
Is Santos your new boyfriend?
No, he's just a boy.
Yeah, yuck. I don't know what else to say.
Toy.
And he's 19.
Just yuck. What is that?
How old are you?
He's here for the tea.
I'm trying to get the tea.
No, I didn't know he was 19 at first.
Wait, you're pregnant? Somebody said you're pregnant?
No, I got rid. No, I'm not pregnant no more.
Now, this isn't that good fresh clout, mind you. I don't think this clout is actually going to get you much of anywhere, but currently she has some of that, you know, bargain basement about to expire clout, and some people want it, and we'll get to them in a minute, but some people don't. So Ash is so high on her new smell, she'd be sliding into all kinds of DMs. Some people, probably, maybe most people actually, don't want this kind of attention from Ash. Girl, the amount of blue and not in those messages should tell you all that you need to know. He is not
She's diving into other people's DMs. I thought she was dating this guy. What the fuck?
Interested. Now, y'all can pause if you want to read the full thing, but one part in particular I want to clock is that this creator, Stephen James, was really quick to share the harassment he was receiving from Ash, that he made a TikTok of her DMs without fully covering her phone number.
What harassment? Oh, you're such a cutie. He goes new.
That she gave him
I don't understand. Boy, quit playing. This new could be something all yours. The things I would do to you. Let me fly you out, boo. What's your big daddy? Okay. I don't care.
Ash, that he made a TikTok of her DMs without fully covering her phone number, that she gave him
Is that harassment? I don't understand.
Unsolicited, by the way, so I'm not going to put that slide up. So obviously a ton of people called her and she was upset that he leaked her number. So she said he can either come to Texas to see her or she would sue him. I think that's literally blackmail. Is that blackmail? I'm just asking questions.
But he shouldn't have leaked that information. He probably did on purpose. So.
But here's the thing. Some people do want that discount clout. Some people are all about it. Like this guy or this one. That's DK, and he's at the
I don't know why. I feel like I've seen him before.
Center of the most recent Ash Trevino disaster. DK is a TikTok star with 1.7 million followers. He gained popularity for his lip syncing videos. So he has a ton of
probably really sounds like a class act there. Lip syncing videos. Who could have? Wow, how?
Followers for doing the least possible work. And not only that, he has an ankle monitor. I'm sure it's just some harmless misunderstanding that led to an ankle monitor, right, DK?
Why are you on ankle monitor? I got 4 open charges right now. They're aggravated assaults with a deadly weapon. That's all I'm gonna say about my case is still. Okay. You better get off them. Hopefully, I've already been in the hospital for 10 months. So I got my next court date September 16th. I think it's just a hearing, so I probably won't get off at that time, but we'll see when I get off, though, hopefully soon.
Yeah, exactly. Aggravated A with a deadly weapon in June of 2024. Cool. So this is right up Ash's alley, or Nunu, or whatever the it's just, get these people away from me, please. So at this point, Ash has collected a posse of young men to be her entourage, and she planned a trip to San Antonio to have.
I don't care. Okay, I mean, Not illegal. It sounds like everybody knows what they're doing. Okay.
A meet and greet and then party with her boys. From what we could tell, it seems like most or all of these guys are, you know, at least like legal adults or above the age of 18, right? So on January 12th, 2025, Ash announces her meet and greet in San Antonio.
I think I do have a meet and greet today, though, you guys.
We started off as close friends.
I'm not gonna play with you.
She's spotted at the mall posing for pictures. And then after the meet and greet, as the story goes, allegedly Ash and the Kinder crew attempt to go to a fancy steakhouse.
The Kinder crew? Are you implying that they're children? I don't understand. Why does this video need that? Why does this video need to root itself with just like weird speculation?
But because they're all streaming live, the restaurant takes one look at them and reserves their right to refuse service. So bravo, sounds like someone wants to stay in business. You have no idea how smart of a choice that was. So where can these purveyors of clout go? Well, they take a fucking horse and carriage to the fucking Rainforest Cafe. Yes, you heard that right. I couldn't possibly make that up.
Bro, we're on a fucking horse and carriage. Hey!
Can you tell that I have detached at this point? Like somehow they all still have appetites after that, and they're eating at the Rainforest Cafe, and a woman walks up to the table and starts.
You know, you go to Sam's Club, you can get Rainforest Cafe coupons, like not coupons, gift cards for like a discount. Keep it in mind.
Arguing with Ash, enough so that the police show up. You remember Ash's favorite people in blue who she backs unconditionally.
Yeah, well, I imagine that was probably, it says 3 minutes ago, but I imagine that was probably like a decade ago, so.
No, I'm not letting that go. So,
Why?
As the cops are there and attempting to de-escalate the situation, they discover that D. Kane has a pew-pew. Bloody brilliant. Now, from what I could tell, it's unconfirmed, but there might have been 2 pew-pews and possibly some, like a nose candy, and it could have all been in Ash Trevino's purse. The details are murky at best, but we do have one unnamed, unverified, uncorroborated, alleged eyewitness of the account. So, like, it could be true, but I don't know that this has been verified.
She saw GTA in cuffs with the cops and everything, and the cops were holding Ash's bag, and I saw them pull out a pew-pew out of Ash's bag. That's what I saw. And then also for everyone who's confused about who got arrested, I saw that they put D. Kane in that truck van, or the police van, as well as Bree's brother, I believe, and then D. Kane's girl, or something like that, because she had powder and a pew-pew as well.
Yeah, so was Ash trying to cover for someone?
Is this valid, verified, or is this just somebody saying something for attention?
Maybe, but because
Pew Pew in the new. Incredible. I love that. Beautiful stuff.
D. Kane was on probation and carrying a firearm, a violation of probation, that's straight to jail, dude. But don't worry, I'm sure once you're an official inmate, Ash will probably want to marry you. Let's speed run since that seems to be what.
Damn, then she kind of fucked herself by getting him out, by bailing him out, allegedly, right? By like taking the gun herself.
What Ash Trevino is doing to this part of her career or the end of their career, I don't really know. D. Kane is arrested.
D. Kane! She ain't no good news. D. Kane is all right. For that smelly new.
And also someone apparently tries to fight Ash in the street. And Ash herself was briefly detained for questioning, but it doesn't look like any charges are being filed thus far. Quote, Ash Trevino, known for her contentious TikTok persona and relationships with incarcerated individuals, was also detained briefly for questioning. So police have yet to confirm whether the charges will be filed against Trevino, but D. Kane's arrest has sparked speculation about his future, with fans expressing shock and concern over his possible probation violation. But, you know, Ash is a generous, caring, and never self-serving person, so she did make sure that D. Kane got out of jail.
And for those of you that like to talk a lot of crap about me being a bad person, saying I'm the reason they got locked up, I'm the one that posted their bond and waited for them. And I only had 3 hours of sleep last night. I paid some of D. Kane's bond, and I paid the other guys.
You're like 30-something years old, hanging out with 19-year-olds, getting in trouble. And you have daughters. You're like mid-30, you're a middle-aged woman. You're a 37-year-old woman, 36, 37-year-old woman with 2 kids, going around hanging out with 19, 20-year-old boys, getting drunk, having the cops called on you, getting arrested, and you're trying to sit here and preach that you're like a virtuous person or you're a responsible person. That's interesting. Okay.
This additional weapons charge on top of his previous charges could put D. Kane in prison for a very long time.
D. Kane,
like,
Donkey
maybe
Kong, baby.
for life. And we may not be seeing any lip syncing videos from D. Kane
No,
anymore. But wait, what about Santos? Where was he when all of this was going down? Well, he was back in LA, and it seems like the weapons and the snow weren't the only thing that was giving Scarface.
Hey, what happened?
They arrested the guy. They have a the river while somebody snitched.
Well, obviously, I knew that shit happened. That's how I get out the. Oh my god, bro. Y'all don't listen for shit. That's the shit that pisses me off. Get out the
You think that he called the cops? You think he did it?
river wall. You're in a downtown public area with people that don't even have licenses for that. You think I'm just saying that for no reason, Ashley? You know those kids don't even. You know those kids. No, Ashley, I'm talking to you serious. You know those kids don't even have parents that are gonna help them out. I'm gonna have to help them out again. Me. No, Ashley, this is not on you because it's on me. I'm taking care of all the people around you. I'm getting in trouble for that. This ain't something to play with.
Is Santos somehow the biggest adult in the story right now? Is that where we've gone? Taking responsibility?
I feel like it's almost all a soap opera. It's just like we got this whole soap opera of people's lives. Everything feels performative.
For his friends, however messed up they are, thinking things through, understanding the consequences of bad decisions before the bad decisions are
Not the Santos want to be a mob boss clip. That's funny. Yeah, I guess so.
made. What the hell is going on? So D. Kane and company get bonded out by Ash and presumably Santos, and the story is over, right? Nope. And what's next is the Ash and Santos pregnancy scare.
It says late for 3 days.
Oh, guys, she's gonna have a little baby Santos.
Bro, I think I was ovulating.
I don't even know what's real and what's a troll from her. And it's hard for me to care when it comes to her specifically. Personally, I'm done. So is Santos. I think that's great for him.
Mrs. Nunu, I'm officially done with you publicly and privately. I blocked your number and I got your back. Your kids sleep on air mattresses.
Mrs. Nunu.
I saw one of them pop. And no, it does not smell well. You can ask Santos.
I don't know, Ash, what's worse, popped air mattress or bacterial vaginosis? You decide.
Could just be a yeast infection, dude.
Walking through the mall,
Or maybe she's having too many chimichangas or something. I have no fucking idea.
and you hear somebody just singing the song out loud. And then they're like, Santos, he knows smell well. And I'm like, oh my God, they know the song, we know the song.
We know the song.
I don't know.
Do you regret it?
I don't regret
It's a
it.
banger.
Yeah, I don't regret it. But if I
You regret that outfit that you're wearing in public, or I don't know.
didn't have to just pick that one name,
Santos. It could be anyone. You could just change it. Anyone. Who else? Who would you say? Who would you replace it with?
my guy's name, but I can't say his name on.
You have a guy.
Yes, I told you. Yes.
What?
She can't say her new boyfriend's name. Interesting that you have a boundary with that one person.
Ash is not done. She is still streaming and moved on to the next young man. He's 23.
How does that work with us? If you were to do long distance, how does that work?
This guy?
With me and you?
Oh, yeah. Good work.
I mean, I would try to see you as much as I could. I don't work, so.
That's true.
Max, I'm saying it right now. Max, save yourself. Run away, Max. Whatever you're trying to prove, it's not worth it.
I know how it smells.
Ask Max. He knows smell well. I'm just kidding.
Are you gonna check with that?
Well, no, we haven't met, but we're actually planning a time for me to.
You haven't met?
No, only online. Like we FaceTime. Yes, we FaceTime. He just got a haircut.
There's no. Give her the mic. Give her the mic. You're cut off. That's your mother.
How do you know he's not using you for the clout and views? Because you haven't met him before you're famous.
Block
Literally.
it.
No, because Max literally is not disrespectful. He does not care about the views. He does not care about the views. And whenever he is on live, he tells them, I'm not going to talk about it.
How many galaxies and lions you get, so he knows how much to ask you to pay.
No. Literally, he's one of my biggest gifters on TikTok.
Now, don't worry. After that podcast
Whoa, he's the sugar daddy, baby. He's the baby sugar baby. I don't know.
that Camilla did
But except he has the money.
with Ash and the kids, yes, her daughters were there. Max was out.
All right, guys. So I'm sure you all saw the podcast today with Camila and Ash. Lots of eyes. I told Ash when I first started talking to her that
This guy's gay a little. I'm sorry.
what I liked, not what I want. Too many eyes on me. I'm just not comfortable with it. And like, I should have listened to you guys in the beginning. Whenever we said don't get involved. I think I shouldn't have done it. I should listen to you guys. And you guys gave me that Trevino effect or whatever you guys call it. I called her today, told her that I'm over. It's over.
Is that a real thing? The Trevino effect?
I can't do it anymore. It's too much. Opening TikTok and scrolling and seeing pictures of me, pictures of my family. It's just too much. I really cannot do all this. So
Also, totally unsurprisingly, Ash and Camilla are fighting on TikTok almost as soon as the podcast dropped. And that's not shade to Camilla. She did try to challenge Ash many a times. That's just
You just
that's
have a
just
lisp? Yeah, but gay people, for some reason, gay people have lisps too.
Ash.
Excuse me. If I would have known that that podcast would have been the way it was, I wouldn't have done it. 100%. Wouldn't have done it. I would have protected the kids more on that part. I would have protected myself.
And she won't stop as long as people are tuning in to her live streams and giving her money. She won't stop. Why would she? To go back to working at the dental office reception desk, I don't think she can handle doing that when she can do this instead, right? Are we just lost? Like, is social media like the literal antichrist at this point? Like, is TikTok Live the worst thing to happen to the world ever? I mean, I know there's people doing good things on there, but like, man, this is what's happening, okay? Did TikTok create the version of Ash Trevino, or did TikTok just give her a platform? Those are the questions I have. What do you think? Well, let me know in the comments.
She's gonna expose everything when she's 18, right? What is there to expose? I've been taking care of you since you were born. What are you gonna expose? There's nothing to expose, baby girl. This TikTok stuff is getting to her head, but for her to sit there and make that remark, and then she blocked me on TikTok because I was telling her to get off live last night. So she thought it was cool to block me. But what is she gonna expose? All the CPS cases have been closed. There's nothing my daughter can expose when she's 18.
And the thing that I keep thinking about through this story is that this is all happening publicly. Think about the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of these types of things happening with other people and potentially other teens around the world.
Like with other bad parents?
Whew, child, that was a lot to unpack. I think we need a bit of a kitty, a palate cleanser. Yes, I can't believe this is the first one for the year. Excuse the tone shift, and then I will conclude with my final thoughts. As a reminder, you can grab your pieces from the Valid Ribcage collection by tapping the link below and in the pinned comment. We also have the Unbroken collection. That's a collection that's very near and dear to my heart. I designed these pieces for anyone who's looking for clothing with positive messaging. There's just so much negative in the world, and I like some positive, and I just wanted these to be positive reminders anytime you wear them, to just remind yourself that you're incredible, beautiful, and valid, no matter what you look like, what you've lived through, or what you want to do in life. I don't know, something with me, I'm a very visual-based person. Maybe some of that's part of the ADHD thing, and I just, if I see it, then I think it and I remember it. You know what I mean? Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky, all linked below. That's where I post most often, especially up in Instagram stories. I have polls, check in on life, and I post opportunities to be featured in upcoming Swoop docs like we have done many times. Also, I have a second channel called Swoop 2. Over here, we deep dive. Over there, we don't. They're skinny dips. So we dip into the unhinged dark waters of the cesspool. We have a lot of fun over there. It's much more casual. The videos are shorter, so welcome to the chaos. Also, again, Happy New Year. Thanks for being patient while I've been just putting my brain back together after everything that's been happening. I appreciate you all so much for being here. A huge thank you to our channel members and to our Patreon producers. I've been revamping the whole Patreon page and posting some special extended videos. Like there will be an extended Ash Trevino video that will drop exclusively on Patreon, and we're experimenting with a podcast format that y'all can get in on and give your thoughts about the podcast format and all that good stuff. So tons more content coming to my Patreon, and you can also get your name in the credits of the docs and the videos I post on both channels. So if you would like to have exclusive access and become a member, it is linked below in the description and pinned comment. Be sure to check out the most buttery soft loungewear, undies, and bralettes ever and get 20% off your first order plus free shipping on orders $75 and over. You can tap my link below or go to meundies.com/swoop and enter promo code swoop and treat yourself for someone special. You deserve it. Ordinarily, I have something truly monumental and profound to share at the end of these docs, being that I am such a brilliant and humble bitch. I'm kidding. But honestly, y'all, I don't even know what to say at this point. Can we just like stop making people like this famous? Listen, I think there's a strong chance that Ash is desperately searching for any opportunity she has to be validated by men at nearly any cost, and for that, I actually feel bad for her. She could really.
Well, I mean, she's in a cycle where she can do inappropriate shit and get rewarded for it, so that's kind of what her life's going to continue to be. Is just doing inappropriate shit and getting rewarded for it, no?
Use someone responsible in her life guiding her to get the help that she might need and heal some of that potential pain from her youth. I think everyone deserves that, no matter what they're doing. It sounds like she had a troubled childhood and is clinging to the very types of situations that are likely to perpetuate the cycle of a troubled life, maybe forever. I truly hope she finds some genuine, healthy, mental and emotional support, because in the middle of all of this are her daughters. And based on what I've seen on some of their live streams, it doesn't appear that cycle is going to be broken anytime soon. I hope that I'm wrong about that, but I don't think that I am. So all I can hope is that her daughters are safe, and so are any of these guys who come in personal contact with Ash Trevino. But you know what? Of course, when there's nothing left to say, stay ready, stay petty, class dismissed.
All right, cool video. That was certainly a interesting video, and I guess a deep dive into Ash Trevino. What a fucking train wreck.